Chapter 3095. The red cocoon wrapped Long Xueqi layer by layer. Jiang Chen became more and more curious. Such a change in Long Xueqi made the vitality in his body extremely exuberant, more than 10 times stronger than before. However, all this was because of White Cloud. White Cloud's little hand was silently placed on Long Xueqi's body. Bursts of bright essence shone and overflowed with colorful flowing light. Long Xueqi also became extremely lucky, at least in Jiang Chen's view. Jiang Chen could see that White Cloud had almost transferred all her origin energy to Long Xueqi. This was undoubtedly a great harm to her, but the benefits to Long Xueqi were also immeasurable. White Cloud was so selfless and affectionate that Jiang Chen could not help but be surprised. This red cocoon has such powerful energy. I have never heard of it. Brother Jiang, what is it? Xueqi looked at this scene in shock and whispered. Jiang Chen shook his head and said, I don't know, but it seems that this red cocoon should benefit him a lot. Xueqi nodded silently. There was no doubt that the violent energy and the huge origin energy in the red cocoon amazed them. After Long Xueqi absorbed this terrifying origin energy, he was bound to be reborn. The red cocoon gradually turned into strands of purplish-red qi that resonated with Xueqi. In less than half an hour, 80% of Xueqi's injuries were healed, but he still didn't wake up. It was not until the red cocoon gradually faded that White Cloud staggered a step back. Her little face was full of solemnity. She stared at Long Xueqi with burning eyes, full of reluctance and attachment. Hey too, I'll leave Brother Xueqi to you. I'm leaving first. White Cloud said reluctantly, her heart full of anxiety and hesitation. Are you in such a hurry to leave? Are you not going to wait for him to wake up before leaving? Jiang Chen said with a frown. White Cloud shook its head. The person he probably doesn't want to see the most is me. I think I'm not annoying, so I'll leave now. I hope he won't speak ill of me the moment he sees me. Jiang Chen saw White Cloud's helplessness, but he didn't understand why. He wanted to ask more, but Wu Ningzhu grabbed his hand and signaled him to stop asking. That's good. Take care of yourself. We will meet again if fate allows it. I thank you on behalf of Long Xueqi. Jiang Chen smiled. Thank you. I don't regret meeting you at all. Goodbye. After saying that, White Cloud turned around and left. His thin and small figure was withstanding a huge pressure, which made people's hearts ache. One was a peerless weirdo, one was a flawless piece of jade, one was proud and conceited, one had no worries, one was like the bright moon in the water, the other was like a flower in the mirror. If there was no fate, he met him again in this life. If there was fate, his worries would eventually disappear. Just like that, White Cloud left without any worries. But was their fate really broken just like that? In Jiang Chen's view, White Cloud's friendship with Long Xueqi had been extremely benevolent, but he knew Long Xueqi's character better than anyone else. He was right only if he thought it was right, and no one could change his mind. When you were trapped in the profound connection divine palace, Xueqi tried his best to save you. But at that time, we had just gotten out of the profound connection divine palace and we didn't have the strength to fight anymore. Even if Xueqi went back, he would be courting death. So White Cloud took the opportunity to knock him out. When he woke up, he completely broke up with White Cloud. After all, it was because Long Xueqi wholeheartedly wanted to save you that it ended up like this. White Cloud has good intentions, but in Xueqi's eyes, it's a deliberate obstruction. Perhaps he knows it very well in his heart, but he's still filled with deep hatred towards White Cloud. If you die, perhaps he'll put all his hatred on White Cloud. Wu Ningzhu said in a low voice. All this happened because of Jiang Chen, but they could not blame Jiang Chen. None of them was wrong, including Long Xueqi and White Cloud. The only mistake was the battle. Although they won in the end, they paid a great price. For them, Jiang Chen's safe return was the greatest relief. After all this happened because of me. Hee. Jiang Chen sighed with a wry smile. If you hadn't turned the tide, we would have died in Tongxian Mansion. Why do you blame yourself? Xueqi said. Now that Jiang Chen and Long Xueqi had returned safely, they were going to leave. The world was vast, but he had to rely on his own means to make a breakthrough. I'm going to the Central Province Divine Land. Jiang Chen, I'll wait for you in the Central Province. I hope you won't let me down. When we meet again, I'll definitely fight with you. Xueqi said confidently. His pride and confidence were what Jiang Chen admired the most. It's a deal. Xueqi and Bingyun left. At this moment, the red remnant sword on Long Shersan's body all turned into halos and finally integrated into his body. Bai Yun left, but Jiang Chen was greatly shocked and surprised by her background. Her origin chi was not inferior to his myriad chi body. Jiang Chen could not help but sigh at the recovery of his injuries. Bai Yun's origin chi was not inferior to his myriad chi. When Long Shersan integrated all the halos formed by the red cocoons into his body, Long Shersan finally opened his eyes slowly. There was a burst of brilliance in his eyes. His strength had recovered, and it seemed to be more refined and terrifying than before. There was an extremely powerful origin chi in his body, which had not been completely absorbed by Long Shersan. But Long Shersan knew that it was White Cloud's origin chi. When he was injured before, she used this method to save him. But at this moment, his injuries were even more serious. He could wake up so quickly and his injuries had disappeared completely because of the origin chi that had not been completely digested by him. This origin chi was endless, which made Long Shersan gain a lot. All of this came from White Cloud. Little Chenzi. Long Shersan's eyes lit up. He looked at Jiang Chen, Wu Ningzhu, Yan Qingqing and the others. Damned monkey. You're finally awake. Jiang Chen said with a smile. Did she save me? Long Shersan's expression changed. In order to save you, she gave 90% of her origin chi to you. You shouldn't blame her. Jiang Chen said. I don't like to be controlled by others, especially when she knocked me out. Long Shersan said with a frown. This matter started because of me. That's why you hate her so much. If you're going to die, blame me. White Cloud has sacrificed a lot for you. It has nothing to do with you. There's no friendship between me and her. Dragon Shersan gazed afar with fiery eyes. Jiang Chen knew that this bastard was too stubborn. If he was in Dragon Shersan's shoes, perhaps he wouldn't have done any better than Dragon Shersan. If Dragon Shersan was in danger, Jiang Chen would never allow anyone to knock him out, but the situation was different. If there's a chance, I'll repay her favor sooner or later. Long Shersan said stubbornly. Everyone had their own choice. Jiang Chen couldn't say anything more. They didn't do anything wrong. It was just that their personalities didn't dictate it. Chapter 3096. Long Shersan knew that he was indebted to Bai Yun. Anyone would feel that he should forgive her, but he couldn't do it. Especially when he thought that she had stopped him from saving Jiang Chen. Long Shersan felt very upset. If something really happened to Jiang Chen, he might be even crazier than he was now. All right, let's not talk about this anymore. Let's take a rest and prepare to head to the West Pole Divine Region. Jiang Chen said. West Pole Divine Region? Why are we going there? Yan Qingqing asked doubtfully. The monk might be there, in the land of the West Pole Divine Region. I heard from that guy from the Battle God clan that they are heading to the West Pole Divine Region. The reincarnation of the living Buddha and the appearance of the God-suppressing monument all indicate that the monk might be there. Jiang Chen said solemnly. All right, then let's take a rest and head to the West Pole Divine Region. I haven't seen the monk for a long time. I wonder how that guy is doing and how strong he is now. He, I don't think he's a match for us. Long Shersan said confidently. Oh yeah, Sister Ning, what happened to you? I heard from Yu Chenglong that you might die soon. Let me take a look at you. Jiang Chen said with concern. Wu Ningzhu's safety was more important than anything else. Wu Ningzhu's breathing stagnated. Her eyes were filled with despair and sadness. She didn't want to die, and she didn't want to leave Jiang Chen and Yan Qingqing so soon. She still had so many things to say and so many hardships to tell Jiang Chen. Don't worry, Sister Ning. No one can take you away from me, not even the heavens. Jiang Chen held Wu Ningzhu's hand tightly and said. He was afraid that Wu Ningzhu would do something that would make him feel a trace of despair. However, Jiang Chen knew what was going on and was confident that he wouldn't let his woman gradually wither in front of him. Wu Ningzhu nodded silently. Your soul has suffered a heavy injury? This is a sign of withering souls. Jiang Chen's expression was incomparably solemn. Even he couldn't do anything about Wu Ningzhu's current situation. Her soul seemed to be withering slowly until its end. Even Jiang Chen's Emperor Realm soul couldn't help her at all, but Jiang Chen could prolong Wu Ningzhu's life. Your soul will wither completely in less than 10 years. Although I can't save your soul right now, I definitely won't let you get hurt. Within 1,000 years, I will use my soul force to protect you. In this way, we can find a solution as soon as possible. When my strength reaches the Divine Emperor realm, I'll probably find a solution. 1,000 years was more than enough. Don't worry, Sister Ning. I won't let you lose me, and I won't lose you either. Jiang Chen hugged Wu Ningzhu tightly and said, Really? 1,000 years? Even if it can't be cured, I'll be satisfied. I thought that my soul was really going to wither. When Wu Ningzhu heard Jiang Chen say 1,000 years, she felt relieved. 1,000 years was already too much for her. Little Chunzi never goes back on his words. Sister Ning, we should believe him even more. So what if it's 1,000 years? We want to be together forever, not just 1,000 years. In the divine world, 1,000 years is just a blink of an eye. Yan Qingqing pulled Wu Ningzhu's hand and helped her out of her predicament. Let's rest for a while, we should leave now. Jiang Chen looked at Long San. The four of them had finished their preparations and could leave for the West Pole Divine Region at any time. West Pole Divine Region, Moro Prefecture, Ethereal World, Wolf Mountain. Thousands of miles of divine land, thousands of miles of wind and snow, piercing through a world, the shadow of snow torrential, the wind and frost falling. The entire Wolf Serpent Mountain was covered in silvery white, the sky and the mountain joined into a line, the imposing manor swallowing the heavens, only leaving behind a boundless expanse. The Wolf Mountain stretched endlessly, spanning hundreds of thousands of miles. One side was covered in snow, the other side was sunny. It was above half of the ethereal world. In the middle of a snowy mountain, 3 red-eyed snow-ground ice apes were staring at a woman with long hair. The woman was dressed in white, pure and flawless, as if she was even purer than the snow. Her eyes were fixed on the 3 beasts in front of her. She was extremely nervous. Facing these 3 beasts, it was almost impossible for her to avoid them. Her snow-white clothes were stained with scarlet blood. It was exceptionally dazzling. The storm was still rolling, the snow fell like goose feathers. It was so strong that people couldn't open their eyes. The woman's cold face was full of hardships, but it could not hide her beauty. The coldness and stubbornness at the corner of her mouth made her even more indignant. She was like a monument that would never yield to mediocrity. She would never bow her head even in death. The 3 abnormally powerful beasts roared continuously and slowly approached her. That kind of invisible pressure made it hard for her to breathe. It went without saying how terrifying the 3 early Hierarch realm beasts were. It was quite taxing for her. Although she managed to kill one of them, she was also seriously injured. It would be extremely difficult for her to escape from this place. The 10,000 miles of ice vein and the 1,000 miles of snow mountain were the snow-ground ice apes' territory. She was also seriously injured. It was impossible for her to escape. She wanted to obtain the snow-ground ice ape's gallbladder and refine it, but she did not expect that she would end up losing the rice used to lure the chicken. She was now trapped in a dangerous situation. Am I really going to die here? The white-robed woman murmured. Her face was filled with desolation. Her current strength was less than 1/10 of her original strength. There was no way she could fight against these 3 ferocious beasts. After running for 1,000 miles, she could no longer run. Damn human, how dare you kill our people? You must die. The snow-ground ice apes roared, constantly pounding their huge chests to show their anger and hatred towards the white-clothed woman. The 3 vicious beasts surrounded her, trapping her in the middle. There was no way to advance or retreat. Even if I die, don't think that you will have an easy time, the white-clothed lady said coldly. The sword in her hand was full of energy, sweeping away the flying snow. Even though she knew she could not win, she had no way out and could only fight till the end. The 3 snow-ground ice apes completely ignored the white-clothed lady's attack. The rain of swords was blocked by them. They roared and kept approaching the white-clothed lady. The aura of the 3 beasts was terrifying. They attacked and closed, creating a terrifying wave. Snowflakes danced in the sky. The white-clothed lady was once again pushed back by the snow-ground ice apes. Her expression was extremely ugly. Despair was written all over her pretty face. If this continued, her chances of leveling up would be slim. Puff! The snow-ground ice apes struck with their palms. The sword in the white-clothed lady's hand was broken. A terrifying wave of air rolled out. The 3-headed beast roared like thunder. The white-clothed lady was heavily injured again. Chapter 3097. It's been 100 years. Everything has been wasted. Am I going to die here? She looked towards the north with despair in her eyes. Between life and death, no one could change anything. It was quite ironic that she was killed by the snow-ground ice apes because of her greed. Although she tried her best to resist, it was still difficult to break through the three beasts' encirclement. Snow and wind filled the air, making it difficult for her to move. "Three beasts, get out of my way." Suddenly, when she was in despair, a burly figure holding the Great Way appeared and landed in front of her and the snow-ground ice apes. "Lady, leave these three beasts to me. You just watch from the side." The deep and rough voice was filled with endless killing intent as it stared straight at the three beasts. There was a glimmer of hope in the eyes of the woman in white. Was there finally hope? Looks like heaven was still waiting for her. The middle-aged man's beard was loose and unkempt, but his eyes were like torches. Wherever his long blade pointed, he directly clashed with the three fierce beasts. The blade was resplendent, and wherever it went, it directly cut off the arm of a snow-ground ice ape, causing the other two fierce beasts to be shocked. With a furious roar, they charged forward. Under the suppression of the middle-aged man, the three fierce beasts did not have the slightest chance. They were completely blocked. The middle-aged man's every step was filled with killing intent. Within 100 moves, he had swept away the three fierce beasts. This scene caused a trace of fear to appear in the eyes of the white-clothed lady. What a powerful technique! The white-clothed lady was shocked. That person's strength had reached the middle hierarch realm, which was quite terrifying. Facing the three ferocious beasts, he was able to defeat them with lightning speed. It was impossible for her to do that. The three beasts were instantly killed by the middle-aged man. The lady was relieved that she had just brushed shoulders with death. "Lady, you're frightened." Snow-ground ice apes often appear in the deep mountains. These snow-ground ice apes should be the strongest elder-level beasts. They're not simple. The middle-aged man said in a deep voice. "Thank you, Senior, for saving my life. I'm Xueqi Chihyun. Nice to meet you." Xueqi Chihyun smiled bitterly. She was very grateful to the middle-aged man. What a good name. Young lady's appearance is so shocking that it can cause the downfall of a city and state. You've really shocked me. If I didn't already have a wife and concubines, I would definitely go through fire and water for young lady. Ha ha. The middle-aged man laughed and said. He couldn't help but take another look at Xueqi Chihyun with a strange light in his eyes. The corner of Xueqi Chihyun's mouth twitched slightly, looking a little embarrassed. Senior must be joking. I will never forget your kindness in saving my life. Seeing that you're heavily injured, it's inconvenient for you to move around. Why don't you return to the mansion with me and recuperate for a while? It won't be too late to make a decision after you've recovered. This seat is the Realm Lord of the Nether Passage Realm. The 500,000 li of Wolf Serpent Mountain is completely under my control. You are Tao Qianjun, the Realm Lord of the Nether Passage Realm. Tao Qianjun. Xueqi Chihyun exclaimed. Her pretty face slightly changed. She had been in the Wolf Serpent Mountain for more than 10 years. She naturally knew who the master of the Wolf Serpent Mountain was. It was the Realm Lord of the Nether Passage Realm, Tao Qianjun. However, Tao Qianjun's arrogance made Xueqi Chihyun somewhat disapprove. The Wolf Serpent Mountain stretched across more than half of Moro Prefecture. If it was said that Tao Qianjun was in charge of the entire Wolf Serpent Mountain, he was still somewhat arrogant. But even so, Xueqi Chihyun was incomparably shocked. She was actually saved by the overlord of the Wolf Serpent Mountain, the Realm Lord of the Nether Passage Realm. This was truly a fortune. Qianying is afraid that it will be inconvenient. It's better that I don't go. This trip will definitely cause many troubles. Your great kindness is something that I can't repay. If there's anything you need me to do in the future, I will definitely die 10,000 times. Xueqi Chihyun cupped her hands in obeisance and said, Hey, don't be so polite. You're now seriously injured. If anything happens to you in the Wolf Serpent Mountain, I'm afraid it'll only bode ill for you. Even I can't save you every time. Haha, let's go back to my residence to recuperate first before making a decision. You definitely want a safe environment to recuperate and cannot be disturbed. My Nether Passage realm is also the only choice. Tao Qianjun still insisted. Alright, then I'll have to trouble the Realm Lord. Xueqi Chihyun said hesitantly. It was difficult to refuse Tao Qianjun's kindness. Moreover, he had saved her. Yuki Chihyun really couldn't refuse. Nether Passage Realm. Tianguang City. As the largest city in the Nether Passage Realm, and also the place where the Realm Lord of the Nether Passage Realm resided, it was incomparably peaceful and serene within a radius of hundreds of thousands of miles. No one dared to cause trouble in the Nether Passage Realm of the Western Pole Divine Region. However, it was difficult to live up to its reputation. Undercurrents were surging in the Nether Passage Realm. On the surface, it looked calm, but in reality, it was full of turbulence. In the City Lord's residence, there were thousands of pavilions and towers. The land was vast, incomparably luxurious, incomparably magnificent. However, to Yuki Chihyun, this place was like a cage. Yuki Chihyun had already stayed here for more than a year. In the hall, at this moment, Tao Qianjun had a difficult expression on his face. His face was filled with worry as he paced back and forth in the hall. On this day, it just so happened that Yuki Chihyun wanted to bid farewell to Tao Qianjun. "Senior, why are you so worried?" Yuki Chihyun asked. "Sigh, it's difficult. The City Lord's residence is currently on the verge of collapse." Tao Qianjun said with a bitter smile. The corners of his mouth were filled with helplessness, as if he had suffered a huge blow. Even his appearance had aged a lot in an instant. How could this be? If Senior has any difficulties, you can tell me. If Qianying can help, I will definitely do my best. Yuki Chihyun said. Really? Tao Qianjuan's eyes lit up, but then he shook his head. His heart was filled with hesitation, and he did not continue speaking in the end. My life was saved by Senior. Now that Senior is in deep trouble, how can I sit back and do nothing? Yuki Chihyun knew that she had to return this favor. Otherwise, her heart would always be filled with entanglement. She never liked to owe anyone anything. Now that she was about to leave, she did not want to leave any regrets behind for Tao Qianjun. This matter has nothing to do with you. I cannot drag you into this. Tao Qianjun said with a straight face and righteous tone. He was completely unwilling to drag Yuki Chihyun into this. I understand Senior's words, but I, Yuki Chihyun, do not like to owe anyone anything. If there's any help, Yuki Chihyun will naturally do her best. I will definitely not make things difficult for Senior. Sigh, since you insist, I'll tell you. Tao Qianjun pondered for a moment. It's like this. Presently, the entire Nether Passage world is in turmoil. Two great powers are coveting my Nether Passage world, and it's even to the extent that there are people trying to obstruct us. Presently, I'm in a dilemma. At this time, I can only push my daughter, Tao Lianlian, forward. For the safety of the entire Nether Passage world, for the survival of the entire Tao clan, this is the last method. But Lianlian committed suicide at this moment. Even though I've saved her, there's nothing I can do. Presently, the two great powers will probably charge over here in no time. Originally, I intended to use Lianlian to find a spouse through a martial competition and let the two great powers deal with me. So long as any one of them is able to successfully form a marriage alliance with my Tao clan, then it would surely form a triangular force. At the very least, it would ensure the safety of my Tao clan and the safety of the Nether Passage world. Unfortunately, Lianlian would rather die than agree. As her father, I almost ended her life. Tao Qianjun sighed with extreme emotion. Chapter 3098. Right now, I can only fight with my back to the river. Although I don't know what the final result will be, it's better than sitting and waiting for death. Otherwise, how can I explain to the millions of people in the ethereal passage realm? You can't help me in this matter. You're not strong enough. If the two great forces join forces, my Tao family's chances of survival are slim. Tao Qianjun glanced at Yuki Chihyun. Yuki Chihyun's beautiful face carried a trace of solemnity. Tao Qianjuan's words made her feel incomparably complicated. It was almost impossible for her to leave now. After all, the entire ethereal passage realm and the Tao family were in danger. How could she leave at this time? Wouldn't that make her an ungrateful person? But if she wanted to save the Tao family, she could only step forward bravely and ask for a marriage alliance. Yuki Chihyun frowned. She naturally wasn't willing to do this, but it seemed to be the only solution. Moreover, Tao Qianjun was facing the difficulties of the two great forces. Yuki Chihyun already knew that this battle was almost certain to end for him. Then let me go. Yuki Chihyun said in a low voice. Her life was saved by Tao Qianjun. If she left at this time, she might not be able to forgive herself for the rest of her life. However, she wasn't someone who dared to surrender to fate. At this time, the only thing she could do was to follow her heart. Yuki Chihyun had no choice but to repay Tao Qianjuan's kindness. What are you thinking? Qianing, although you are not related to me by blood, you should know that I see you as my own child. How can I let you replace Lian Lian? This is simply nonsense. Even if I die on the battlefield, I will definitely not compromise. Qian Ying's face was filled with disdain as she said, "What a joke." Tao Qianjun said with a resolute expression. Yuki Chihyun shook her head. Perhaps this is the only way. I'm indebted to Senior for saving me and allowing Qianing to stay here for over a year. Now that the Tao family is in imminent danger, I naturally can't sit idly by. Miss Lian Lian is extremely noble and cannot compromise, so let me take her place. Yuki Chihyun was also incomparably persistent. She insisted. She had to return this favor. Yuki Chihyun knew that it was impossible for her to help Tao Qianjun with her current strength. Therefore, this was the only way. Even though she would be betting her entire life, Yuki Chihyun had no other way. At this moment, that cold and aloof figure couldn't help but appear in her mind. Not long ago, that figure had already been buried in the bottom of her heart. It was just that even she didn't dare to believe it. Only at this moment did she finally feel anticipation towards that figure from 100 years ago. However, everything was like a dream. What was love in the world? She was unable to answer it, nor was she able to free herself from it. No, although you are not my daughter, you are more like a daughter. How can I push you into a pit of fire? Tao Qianjun said with a face full of indignation. This matter is decided. Senior, this is the only way to save the netherworld. Yuki Chihyun said in an unquestionable manner. She turned around and left, not giving Tao Qianjun any chance to continue speaking. At the instant when Yuki Chihyun turned around and left, a faint smile appeared on the corner of Tao Qianjun's mouth. This was the method of loosening the reins only to grasp them better. He had long seen through Yuki Chihyun's character. If he wanted to obtain the support of the two great powers, this was the only way. His daughter Tao Lianlian's suicide was fake. He wanted to use Yuki Chihyun as his bargaining chip. If he used force, this woman would definitely threaten him with death. However, now that he was using the carrot and stick tactic, loosening the reins only to grasp them better, there was no doubt that Yuki Chihyun had fallen into his trap. Above the jade water, Yuki Chihyun stepped on the clear waves. At this moment, her heart had already died. From the moment she decided to sacrifice herself for Tao Qianjun, Yuki Chihyun was no longer Yuki Chihyun. She should have had her own meaning in life. However, she had never imagined that this would be the outcome. Would she be willing to accept this? Obviously, she was unwilling. However, she was a loyal person, and a person who kept her promises. Since she had chosen to repay her debt, she would definitely not hesitate in the slightest. This was her belief, and it was also her character that she would adhere to for her entire life. Fate is decided by the heavens. I didn't expect that this trip to the extreme west would become the focus of my life. I hope that in my next life, I'll still be fated to meet him. Yuki Chihyun murmured. She didn't want to admit that she had truly fallen in love with him. However, at this moment, there was only that proud silhouette in her heart. With a single sword strike, he was invincible, sweeping away the entire younger generation. That was the peerless hero that she loved. Finally, I'm here. Ha ha ha, the extreme west. This should be the most eye-catching wolf mountain in the entire extreme west. I, Long San, have finally arrived. Smelly monk, even if you're powerful, Master Monkey still has to come and save you. Long San said proudly. The Wolf Mountain was the symbol of the extreme west and the northern cold divine regions. A large part of the Wolf Mountain was located in the Moro prefecture of the extreme west divine region. It seems like you can't wait for that monk to be captured and beaten up. Yen Qingqing couldn't help but smile. However, they didn't stop along the way because they wanted to see that monk as soon as possible. Now that they had entered the territory of the extreme west divine region, they were one step closer to their goal. Kaka, then I'll take this opportunity to strike. Isn't that equivalent to saving that monk's life? The unparalleled Long San is supposed to be like this. Long San said seriously. Jiang Chen smiled but didn't say anything. This guy was really not serious at all. However, at this moment, after Long San finished speaking, His face turned extremely grim. Even Jiang Chen was startled. He had never seen such a solemn side of Long San. What's wrong? Jiang Chen asked. It's Ling Ji. I can feel the qi of Ling Ji. I can't be wrong. Long San said in a deep voice. His expression also became more and more solemn. She must be in the extreme west divine region. I have to look for her. She has entered the divine world. Long San's breathing became rapid. Lan Lingji was the most important person in his life. Jiang Chen could understand the worry in his heart. I'll go with you, Jiang Chen said. Long San shook his head. That monk might also be in danger. I alone am enough to deal with him in the extreme west divine region. Unless it's a divine emperor expert, I won't be afraid even if it's a half-step divine emperor. I'll go alone. Then you must take care of yourself. See you in the Great Lightning Tune Temple of the Extreme West Divine Region. Jiang Chen and Long San exchanged glances and nodded heavily. Chapter 3099. Even Lingji has entered the divine world? Wu Ningzhu said plainly, but her eyes were filled with worry. At this moment, Jiang Chen's eyes were filled with disappointment. Now that he and Yan Qingqing were here, the only one missing was Yan Chenyu. Xiao Yu was the biggest concern in Jiang Chen's heart. She was also the last person he wanted to talk about. However, Wu Ningzhu and Yan Qingqing exchanged a glance. They knew Jiang Chen better than him. They also hoped that Xiao Yu could appear as soon as possible. However, things didn't go as they wished. Xiao Yu didn't even appear in front of them. There wasn't even the slightest news about her. Even though Lan Lingji had already entered the divine world, there was still no news about Xiao Yu. I hope 13 can find Lan Lingji as soon as possible. To him, Lan Lingji is his biggest harbor. Ever since he entered the divine world, he has experienced too many trials and tribulations. It couldn't be better if there's someone who cares about him and comforts him. He won't be so presumptuous in the future. Jiang Chen said with a smile. Although he missed Xiao Yu, he didn't say a word about it. Although he didn't know where Xiao Yu was, he could feel that she must be in the divine world. It was just that he didn't know where she was. One day, they would be reunited as a family. Let's go to this city first. It would be best if we can find some spiritual herbs that can help your soul. We can also inquire about Tyrant's news. Jiang Chen held Wu Ningzhu's hand in one hand and Yan Qingqing's hand in the other. The three of them walked towards Skylight City in the distance. After paying 15 mid-grade divine origin stones, Jiang Chen took out a high-grade divine origin stone and handed it to the city guard. The guard's facial expression changed instantly and revealed a look of surprise. This was half a year's income for them. Moreover, high-grade divine origin stones were something that could only be found by luck. What can Senior do for me? Feel free to tell me. I'll tell you everything I know. The city guard could tell that Jiang Chen's strength was not ordinary. Moreover, he had brought two fairy-like beauties with him and was so generous. Such a person was definitely not someone he could afford to offend. I want to know where the largest medicinal herb trading center in the city is, or what large-scale auction houses are there. Jiang Chen said lightly. The largest medicinal herb trading center of our Skylight City is Ling Ying Workshop. There are almost all kinds of spiritual herbs there. As for the auction house, it is also the Ling Ying Auction House under the banner of Ling Ying Workshop. Elder can go to Ling Ying Workshop and ask. It is 3,000 miles east of the city. The city guard said with a chuckle. Jiang Chen nodded his head. He brought Yan Qingqing and Wu Ningzhu and headed straight for the east side of the city. A few city guards smiled with envy in their eyes. On one hand, they were envious of the city guard who could be rewarded by an expert. On the other hand, they were envious of the ladies beside Jiang Chen. She was simply devastatingly beautiful and looked like a fairy. They had never seen such a beautiful lady in their lives. It was as if she had walked out from a painting. She's really too beautiful. I'll be satisfied even if I look at such a lady one more time. This is simply a miracle. This is the most perfect creation of the heavens. I feel that I've already lost interest in that tigress of mine. A group of city guards looked at the disappearing figures of Jiang Chen and Wu Ningzhu with infatuation. Ling Ying Workshop, as the largest medicinal herb trading center of Skylight City, could be said to be in the limelight. There were all kinds of spiritual herbs here. As long as it wasn't too strange, it could definitely be found. Jiang Chen directly entered Ling Ying workshop. The eyes of the beautiful female attendants fell on Wu Ningzhu and Yan Qingqing without blinking. I want the best spiritual herb here to heal the soul. Jiang Chen looked at the female attendant and said, the best? Young master, are you sure? The female attendant was slightly startled. The best spiritual herb? How much would that cost? It was not something she could receive at all. I don't like to repeat myself, Jiang Chen said with a frown. All right, please wait for a moment. Go to the private room upstairs and have some tea and snacks. I'll go and invite the shopkeeper. The female attendant did not dare to be negligent. Most importantly, the two great beauties beside Jiang Chen were too stunning. How could an ordinary person control these two peerless beauties? Jiang Chen's identity was certainly respectable. He had been working in Ling Ying workshop for many years, so he still had this kind of eyesight. Not long after, an old man with white hair and beard appeared in the private room. His expression was calm and his eyes were shining. He said with a smile, "Young master, what do you need? How can this old man help?" "I need the best spiritual herb for healing the soul. The price is not a problem," Jiang Chen said indifferently. "The best spiritual herb for healing the soul here is the soul-nurturing Ganoderma grass. The price is also very expensive. One soul-nurturing Ganoderma grass costs at least 100 supreme-grade divine origin stones," the old man said with a smile and looked at Jiang Chen. One should not judge a book by its cover. As one of the few old shopkeepers of Ling Ying Lane, he would not make such a low-level mistake. Those who were truly capable and had a strong background would always keep a low profile. However, this young man was indeed low profile, but he was ostentatiously walking around with two stunning beauties. He was not low profile at all. "Bring me to have a look," Jiang Chen said. The old shopkeeper's heart skipped a beat. The soul-breeding Ganoderma was a treasure that not many people would touch. Those who could use the soul-breeding Ganoderma were mostly Divine King Realm experts or even Hierarch Realm experts. After all, not everyone could afford hundreds of supreme-grade divine origin stones. At least, those who were below the Divine King Realm would not be able to afford it. The old shopkeeper was only a peak heavenly god. He could not see through the three people's strength at all. "All right, young master, please follow me." The old shopkeeper brought Jiang Chen to see the soul-nurturing Ganoderma grass. Wu Ningzhu also held Jiang Chen's hand tightly, hoping that the soul-nurturing Ganoderma grass could help her. The three of them followed the old shopkeeper to the warehouse. Jiang Chen stopped in front and the old shopkeeper entered. After a while, they came out from the warehouse. The old shopkeeper held a purple golden wooden box and gently opened it. A purple velvety medicinal herb with a thin layer of ripples appeared in front of Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's expression changed. This soul-nurturing Ganoderma grass was indeed a great treasure. However, this one was just a drop in the bucket. "How is it? Young master, what do you think of my soul-nurturing Ganoderma grass?" The old shopkeeper said proudly. "A treasure worth 100 supreme-grade divine origin stones. How could it be ordinary? It's not bad. How much do you have here?" Jiang Chen said. The old shopkeeper was stunned. What did he mean? Could it be that he wanted to take everything? "How much do you have?" "I'll take everything," Jiang Chen said. Chapter 3100. Little Chenzi. Wu Ningzhu was a little shocked. One soul-nurturing Lingji grass was worth hundreds of supreme-grade divine origin stones. Even one was enough to shock her. "Don't worry, what is this bit of money? As long as your soul injury can be healed, it doesn't matter even if I have to use up all my divine origin stones." Jiang Chen smiled gently. Divine origin stones were just worldly possessions to him. They were worthless compared to Wu Ningzhu. "Young master, are you serious?" the old shopkeeper said with a solemn expression. "Do I look like I'm joking?" Jiang Chen said. "Even our Ling Ying Lane only has 30 soul-nurturing Lingji grass in our inventory. Young master, do you really want to buy all of them? That's at least 3,000 supreme-grade divine origin stones," the old shopkeeper said again. "Okay, deal. 3,000 supreme-grade divine origin stones?" Jiang Chen asked. "I want this soul-nurturing Lingji grass." A yellow-clothed youth with a loud voice slowly walked over with a folding fan in his hand. His face was steaming and his eyes were bright. He had an elegant demeanor. "It's young Master Bai. Hee hee, young Master Bai. Where did you get the mood to come to my Ling Ying lane? Your presence brings light to my humble Ling Ying lane. The old shopkeeper's eyes brightened as he said with a smile. But, first come, first served. This young master has waited for a long time. Although the old shopkeeper was very respectful to the yellow-clothed youth, he didn't ruin Ling Ying lane's reputation. Jiang Chen glanced at the yellow-clothed youth and said, Lang Lang. There's always a first come, first served rule for everything. First come, first served. If you want this spirit-incubating Ganoderma grass, don't even think about it. Hee hee, soul-nurturing Lingji grass is indeed a good thing. I also want to buy it for this young lady. This young lady has an extraordinary appearance and charm. This one is very moved. Just now, I heard that Mrs. Soul was injured. I, Bai Jiagong, naturally want to buy this soul-breeding Lingji grass to comfort Mrs. Soul injury. I hope Miss doesn't mind. Bai Jiagong's face was full of smiles, and his gaze was fixed on Wu Ningzhu. However, Wu Ningzhu remained unmoved, and her expression did not change. She only held onto Jiang Chen's hand calmly. Jiang Chen smiled faintly. The coldness at the corner of his mouth grew even more frightening. You still dare to tease my woman in front of me? Hee hee, you really aren't afraid of death. Everyone loves beauty. Even if this lady met you first, do you think you can stop me from liking her? Truly laughable. 4,000 superior grade divine essence stones, old shopkeeper. You should understand what to do now, right? Bai Jiagong said confidently. 4,000 superior grade divine essence stones. That's 1,000 more than Jiang Chen. At this moment, the old shopkeeper was finally moved. Humans die for wealth, just as birds die for food. Needless to say, the difference of 1,000 superior grade divine essence stones was too exaggerated. If he was still not moved, then the old shopkeeper would really be a fool. 5,000. Jiang Chen said calmly. At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded. The old shopkeeper and Bai Jiagong never thought that Jiang Chen would be so daring to increase the price by another 1,000 superior grade divine essence stones. This was simply too crazy. The old shopkeeper could no longer control himself. For the first time, he felt that he was about to be defeated by money. The difference of 2,000 superior grade divine essence stones would all be his if he sold this soul-breeding Lingji grass. On the other hand, Wu Ningzhu and Yan Qingqing never thought that Jiang Chen would be so stubborn. Obviously, this soul-breeding Lingji grass was very important to Wu Ningzhu. Most importantly, how could he let others give something that he wanted to Wu Ningzhu? This was Jiang Chen's bottom line. 6,000. Bai Jiagong held his fan and said while shaking his head. 6,000 superior grade divine essence stones. Only a young master of a realm like him would be so daring. Now, the old shopkeeper was a little dumbfounded and didn't know what to do. Nobody would say no to money, especially when the price had already doubled. 7,000. Jiang Chen increased the price again. At this moment, Bai Jiagong was obviously a little powerless. The price had already risen to a sky-high price. Although this soul-breeding Lingji grass was a superior-grade spiritual medicine, it wasn't worth this much money. Jiang Chen and Bai Jiagong's provocation had actually helped Ling Ying Lane. Bai Jiagong's expression was a little ugly. After all, spending 7 or 8,000 superior-grade divine essence stones just to win a beauty's smile wasn't worth it. Even he was a little hesitant. 8,000. Bai Jiagong gritted his teeth and said. If he wanted to act cool, he absolutely couldn't hesitate. If the beauty looked down on him, then how could he continue to communicate with this absolute beauty? This beauty. He must get her. These 2 essence divine tools. The price shouldn't be lower than 5 or 6,000 superior grade divine essence stones. They're yours. Jiang Chen took out 2 essence divine tools and threw them to the old shopkeeper. The old shopkeeper's hand trembled and almost couldn't catch it. These were essence divine tools that weighed more than 1,000 catties. Even Bai Jiagong sucked in a breath of cold air. This guy wouldn't be a madman, right? He actually threw out 2 essence divine tools. He originally thought that he was already awesome enough, but he didn't think that the other party was actually so rich. Could it be that essence divine tools were picked up from the streets? He casually took out 2. Just what was this guy's background? How could he have such great capabilities? Such lofty sentiments, it was hard for him to compete with him. After all, if one had money and divine essence stones, one could really do whatever one wanted. Bai Jiagong didn't have the courage to bid anymore. If he were to bid again, it would definitely be above 12,000 superior-grade divine essence stones. That was not something he could afford. Even if he was the young master of a realm lord, there must be a limit when he did things. Without so much money, acting cool was not something he could bear. The strength of this Ling Ying Lane was not ordinary. Even in Tianguang City, its position was also extremely aloof. Even the city lord residents did not have too much power to restrict it. From this, it could be seen that the force behind Ling Ying Lane was definitely extremely terrifying. The old shopkeeper licked his dry lips and took a glance at Bai Jiagong. Bai Jiagong's face was also extremely ugly. To fail in acting cool in front of a beauty was a very shameful thing, and Jiang Chen had obviously succeeded. "Kid, consider yourself ruthless." Bai Jiagong gritted his teeth and said. This guy was really too rich. He casually threw out 2 essence divine tools. This was too extravagant. Even Bai Jiagong couldn't catch up to him. Things that should be yours, why would I let others give them to you? Jiang Chen smiled faintly. Wu Ningzhu instantly melted into his embrace. Jiang Chen hugged the 2 beauties as if there was no one else around, making Bai Jiagong furious. Chapter 3101. Bai Jiagong's expression turned ugly. He naturally would not let Jiang Chen leave just like that. Otherwise, where would he put his face? Although he could not fight in Ling Ying Lane, if he wanted to touch someone, not many could escape. Kid, you have made me very angry. Since you like to argue with me so much, let's have a good fight today. How about it? Bai Jiagong said in a deep voice. His eyes were cold as he looked at Jiang Chen. You are not qualified. Jiang Chen shook his head and said. Bai Jiagong's strength was only at the early hierarch realm. He was not his match at all. Jiang Chen could crush him with one hand. Ha ha ha, what a joke. This is the first time I heard someone more arrogant than me. Why am I not qualified? Who do you think you are? You can have 2 beauties? Who do you think you are? If you have the ability, come and fight. Bai Jiagong coldly said and laughed out loud. This fellow was simply boasting shamelessly, causing Bai Jiagong to sneer. Another guy who wants to die. Old shopkeeper. Where is my soul-nurturing Ganoderma? Here, here. The old shopkeeper quickly gave the soul-nurturing Ganoderma to Jiang Chen. This is a small place. If young Master Bai wants to fight, please go outside. The old shopkeeper said with a smile. Of course I know. I don't need you to remind me. Humph humph. Bai Jiagong said coldly, glaring at the old shopkeeper. This money-minded guy was really hateful. Although Bai Jiagong was angry, he wouldn't make a move in Ling Ying Lane. Otherwise, once Ling Ying Lane was dissatisfied, it would likely lead to a war. Although Bai Jiagong was a playboy, he still knew the severity of the situation. I will wait for you outside. Kid, if you lose, the 2 beauties beside you will belong to me. Bai Jiagong said with a smile, turned around and left Ling Ying Lane. Young master, you must not act recklessly. This Bai Jiagong is the son of Tian Lai Boundary's lord. Be careful. The old shopkeeper said to Jiang Chen. It was a kind reminder. By the way, old shopkeeper, apart from this spirit-incubating Ganoderma, do you have any other elixirs or living elixirs that can greatly restore and benefit the soul? Jiang Chen asked. The old shopkeeper pondered for a moment and said, There is, but I don't know if you can get it. In the Penglai realm 300,000 miles away from here, the Penglai realm lord has a chalcedony soul seed. It's his treasure, but I don't know if you guys can borrow it. Jade marrow soul seed? Jiang Chen murmured. That's right. The jade marrow soul seed is extremely beneficial for nourishing the soul. It's not something that the spirit-breeding Lingji grass can compare to. The old shopkeeper said solemnly. Jiang Chen nodded and left with the 2 women. Little Chenzi, do you really want to fight this guy? Yan Qingqing said worriedly. What, are you afraid that I'm not his match? Jiang Chen smiled. I'm afraid that you will beat him to death. After all, he has the lord of a realm behind him. I'm afraid this matter isn't that simple. We've just arrived and we're in someone else's territory. It's better to be careful. Yan Qingqing continued. Sister Qingqing is right. Little Chenzi, you have to be careful. Wu Ningzhu also said in a low voice. She knew that this matter was caused by her. Wu Ningzhu was afraid that Jiang Chen would offend the entire realm. At that time, things would get out of hand. I have my own plans, Jiang Chen said. Outside Lingying Lane, in an empty area, Bai Jiagong was already standing there, blocking the path of Jiang Chen and the others. Brat, you're the first who dares to snatch my love away from me, Bai Jiagong. Give me your soul-nurturing Ganoderma grass and these two beauties. Maybe I can consider sparing your life. Bai Jiagong laughed and said. His eyes were cold, but more of them were covetous towards Wu Ningzhu and Yan Qingqing. These two peerless beauties. To be able to get one of them was already a blessing of 10 lifetimes. But this guy actually had them on his left and right. For Bai Jiagong it was really exciting. Look, isn't that young Master Bai from Tianlai realm? Who's the person fighting with him? How dare he go against young Master Bai? Is he tired of living? TSK, you're short-sighted. How can he be a nobody if he dares to go against young Master Bai? Look at the two beauties beside him. They're like fairies. How can ordinary people have such luck with women? That person must also be someone with a respectable status. Now that you put it that way, it really is the case. But this time, the 7th marriage proposal from the Sky Lai realm has already caused our city lord to be badly battered. This time's marriage by combat will definitely be quite exciting. It's said that this Bai Jiagong is a popular candidate for this marriage contest. Maybe our city lord will betroth his adopted daughter to him. Many experts in the city saw this scene. Bai Jiagong had already been in Skylight City for a period of time. Moreover, he was very high profile. Soon, everyone in Skylight City knew about him. A filthy mouth can't spit ivory. I didn't want to kill you at first. But it seems that even if I spare your life, it won't help. Jiang Chen said coldly. Haha, come on. I'd like to see which one of us is the real filthy one. Bai Jiagong didn't get angry. Instead he laughed. He naturally didn't care about Jiang Chen's arrogance and mockery. Who was he? He was the son of the lord of Tianlai realm. He had a noble status and a respectable position. Moreover, his strength had reached the early stage of the hierarch realm. Unless he encountered a peerless expert, there weren't many people in Moro Prefecture who could kill him. Moreover, many people couldn't afford to offend his Tianlai realm. Today, he encountered a hothead who didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Bai Jiagong's heart was filled with amusement. He felt that Jiang Chen was becoming more and more ridiculous. Noisy guy. If you die, perhaps this world will quiet down. Jiang Chen sneered. He took a step forward and started to fight with Bai Jiagong. He didn't hesitate at all. To deal with this kind of scum, he must be swift and decisive. Only then would he be satisfied. Good. Bai Jiagong shouted. However, Jiang Chen's punch already had a mountain-shattering momentum. Bai Jiagong's expression changed greatly. He didn't expect that he couldn't even take one punch from Jiang Chen. Was this guy's strength so much stronger than his? Before Bai Jiagong could recover from his shock, he was already hit by Jiang Chen's punch and was sent flying. Pfft! So fierce. Bai Jiagong's expression was ugly. He was shocked. Jiang Chen had forced him back with one move. He was instantly dumbfounded. Wasn't this guy's strength too strong? Where did this guy come from? He was completely not his opponent. Stop fighting. Let's fight another day. Bai Jiagong roared and retreated. However, Jiang Chen didn't give him any chance. Who do you think you are? If it wasn't because of your arrogance, I might not have killed you. However now, even the Emperor of Heaven won't be able to save you. Jiang Chen snorted coldly. He stepped into the sky and slammed his palm down. The 3,000 flame sky seal destroyed everything. Bai Jiagong's pupils shrank and he cried out in surprise. However, he was already submerged in Jiang Chen's 3,000 flame sky seal. Chapter 3102. Fuck. It can't be, right? Young Master Bai is so weak? He's too weak. The son of the realm lord of Tianlai realm is just a... Wasn't he very powerful in our ethereal realm? Why has he become a soft-footed shrimp now? This is called marinated tofu. Everything has its vanquisher. Ha ha ha, I think young Master Bai won't be able to end this now. I can only say that this guy who popped out of nowhere is even more terrifying than young Master Bai. The onlookers could all see the result. Bai Jiagong was not a match for Jiang Chen. He was directly sent flying by Jiang Chen without any room to maneuver. Bai Jiagong's figure was completely subverted in Jiang Chen's palm print. The 3,000 flaming sky print instantly destroyed by Jiagong's attack. His vitality was severed. He struggled to stand up, but Jiang Chen did not give him the slightest chance. He directly punched out. Thunder rumbled in the sky, shocking all directions, causing the surrounding onlookers to exclaim. Bai Jiagong was directly punched by Jiang Chen until nothing was left. He turned into ashes. Daring to tease his woman. This was his ending. Jiang Chen did not have any hesitation. He moved like lightning and killed quickly, not leaving any room to maneuver. This is the retribution you've won, Jiang Chen said coldly. At this moment, everyone was shocked. No one had expected that Jiang Chen would defeat young Master Bai, but he actually killed young Master Bai. To them, this was really a great shock. That was the son of the Realm Lord of Tianlai Realm. His status was respected and no one could compare to him. And Jiang Chen, this guy who popped out of nowhere, actually killed Bai Jiagong. Once this news was spread, the Realm Lord of Tianlai Realm would definitely go crazy. He's really bold. This guy actually dared to kill Bai Jiagong. He's done for. Yeah, I'm afraid this guy is in big trouble. I wonder why the Realm Lord of Tianlai Realm hasn't appeared yet? His own son was killed, but he's still so calm. Looks like Tianlai Domain is fated to return in failure from participating in the joust for a spouse held by the City Lord's mansion. As for the Soul Rising Spirit Gathering Pill, they probably won't be able to fight for it at all. Jiang Chen's eyes narrowed and his face became solemn. With a flash, he appeared beside the person who spoke just now, scaring the Heavenly God Realm expert to the point that he almost lost control of his bowels. You're talking about the Soul Rising Spirit Gathering Pill? Where is it? Jiang Chen frowned, exuding killing intent. The Heavenly Deity Realm experts didn't dare to look at him directly. That Soul Rising Spirit Gathering Pill is the dowry of the city governor this time around. It is rumored to be a relatively frightening peak immortal tier medicinal pill. The value of this medicinal pill can be said to be extremely valuable. Moreover, there is also the adopted daughter of the city governor. Whoever can come out on top should be able to obtain the Soul Rising Spirit Gathering Pill. The Heavenly Deity said in a trembling voice. He was afraid that Jiang Chen would kill him with a single palm strike. Even young Noble Bai was not a match for Jiang Chen. The terror of this man was simply indescribable. All right. Thank you. Jiang Chen turned around and left. The Heavenly Deity Realm expert couldn't believe his eyes. This man actually thanked him? However, he also heaved a sigh of relief. Looks like an expert indeed has the demeanor of an expert. He would never kill the innocent. Moreover, he didn't even have the strength to fight back against Jiang Chen. Looks like we have to wait until the joust for a spouse event before leaving. I must get this Soul Rising Spirit Gathering Pill. Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. What if the daughter of the city governor falls for you? Yan Qingqing said with a smile. Jiang Chen smiled awkwardly. I already have 2 beautiful ladies. I don't want to be a playboy anymore. Jiang Chen shook his head. He wanted to get the pill. He had heard about this pill before. Its effect was comparable to the 9 Supreme Saint Bones pill. However, no one had seen it before. Moreover, it was extremely difficult to concoct this pill. It was extremely difficult for a hierarch expert to concoct such a pill. Now that he had news of this pill, Jiang Chen couldn't let it fall into the hands of others. Although this Soul Rising Spirit Gathering Pill might not be able to completely cure Wu Ningzhu's soul, it must have a miraculous effect. Jiang Chen knew that. I believe in little Chenzi's character. He is definitely not a womanizer. However, an expert is destined to be the center of attention. Since ancient times, beauties love heroes. This is something that cannot be changed. I hope you can control yourself. If I were to lose my man in order to cure my soul injury, then the gains would not make up for the losses. Wu Ningzhu said faintly with a mischievous smile on her face. Obviously, she was joking with Jiang Chen. Sister Ning is right. Don't suffer a double loss. Our man will not be shared with others. Yan Qingqing was also beaming with joy. Her face was filled with pride. How would I dare to act recklessly in front of the 2 ladies? Ha ha! Jiang Chen said with a big laugh. He then hugged the 2 beauties in his arms, causing the onlookers to feel envious and jealous. This is what a winner in life should be like. This is what an expert should be like. The City Lord's mansion was decorated with lanterns and streamers. The atmosphere was joyous and excited. Outside the city lord's mansion, an arena had been set up in a 10-li open space. It was time for the martial contest to start. Martial contest to find a spouse. It was not only a son-in-law of the city lord's mansion, but also a helper of Tao Qianjun. The moment Xueqi Qihyun was chosen, Xueqi Qihyun was taken in as Tao Qianjun's adopted daughter. And this adopted daughter was the one who would replace Tao Qianjun's daughter, Tao Lianlian. In a sense, Xueqi Qihyun had become Tao Lianlian's scapegoat. However, she was willing to do so. This was her way of repaying Tao Qianjun. If it was said that Tao Qianjun was not in such a terrible predicament, Xueqi would definitely not give up her happiness and become the sacrifice of the martial arts competition to find a spouse. Because of this, the ethereal passage realm was in a deep crisis. If she left just like that, what would it mean? She couldn't bear the infamy of betrayal. If she could use her happiness to exchange for the safety of the realm, it would be a kind of comfort to Xueqi Qihyun. Xueqi Qihyun was a stubborn woman. However, she couldn't escape the shackles of the world. If there wasn't a debt of life and death, she would rather die than comply. However, the world was unpredictable. Tao Qianjun was at a loss. How could she sit back and watch? Xueqi Qihyun knew that from this moment on, her life no longer belonged to her. Her future was already fixed. Looking at the cheering relatives and friends, looking at the happy marriage character that was plastered in 100 li, looking at the boundless sky, even her world seemed to have lost its initial color. The martial contest to find a spouse was imminent. Chapter 3103. There were not many people participating in the martial arts competition. There were only 3. Monk Yuan Yin of Tianluo Temple, the son of the Lord of Tianlai Boundary, Bai Jiagong, and the son of the Lord of Penglai Boundary, Gang Men. These 3 great powers were all powers that could contend against the ethereal opening realm. Otherwise, Tao Qianjun would not have wanted to find one of the 3 great powers to ally with him. Only then would he be able to resist foreign enemies and stabilize his empire. Otherwise, the ethereal opening realm had been covetously eyed by others all these years. Whether it was the heavenly Lai realm or the Penglai realm, they all had the same intention. Only by keeping the powers within in check could he not drift with the flow and be killed by others. The Lord of a Boundary was not omnipotent. As long as he fell, there would be countless people rising up to replace him. There had never been a lack of experts in the god world. There had always been quite a number of people eyeing them covetously in the dark. Once the city lord's mansion fell, the monkeys would scatter when the tree falls. Naturally, there would be people who would replace them. As for those people living in the Nether Passage realm, it was impossible for them to rise up and fight back. All they wanted was a peaceful realm. As for who was the ruler, it was not important to them. To Xueqi, Tao Qianjun's trick of injuring himself to gain Xueqi's confidence was considered a successful trick. However, Xueqi didn't know that even if she knew, she would still do it in order to not owe Tao Qianjun. This was just her nature. Now, the martial arts competition for a spouse was about to begin. Countless experts had gathered. There were more than 10 hierarch experts and hundreds and thousands of divine king experts. The martial arts competition for a spouse in the city lord's mansion had attracted more than hundreds of thousands of spectators. However, most of them were just there to join in the fun. They just wanted to see a battle between true experts. In the main hall of the city lord's mansion, the guard leader came in panic. He knelt on one knee and said in a deep voice, "Not good, city lord. Something bad has happened. Why are you panicking? What's going on?" Tao Qianjun said coldly and glared at the guard leader. "The son of Tianlai realm's lord, Bai Jiagong, is dead, and he died in our Skylight City. It said that the murderer was a powerful godly venerable realm expert, and he even brought along 2 stunning beauties." The god commander said timidly, fearing that the city lord would vent his anger on him. "What?" Tao Qianjun abruptly stood up, his countenance extremely gloomy. Bai Jiagong was dead. The son of the realm lord of Tianlai realm was dead, and he had died in Tianguang City. This was no small matter. How was he going to explain this to Tianguang City? How could he explain this to Bai Chao? This put him, the city lord, in a crisis. How could Bai Chao remain indifferent when his own son had died in Skylight City? They would definitely find an opportunity to start a war with Skylight City, especially before this. He had received secret information that the Tianlai realm might ally with the Penglai realm to launch an attack on them. Thus, he had no choice but to recruit a few major factions and hold a martial arts competition to recruit his companions, hoping to tide over this crisis. But now, Bai Jiagong had died in their Tianguang city before the war had even begun. This made Tao Qianjun unable to continue. What the hell was this? Could it be that someone was interfering? Could it be that someone from the Penglai realm who was still alive from the Tianluo temple did it? Investigate this matter thoroughly. Otherwise, the Tianlai realm will definitely not let this go. Tao Qianjuan's breathing stagnated, his countenance grim. Now it seemed that this martial arts competition for a spouse was the calm before the storm. Perhaps Bai Chao still did not know that his own son had died here. Otherwise, he would definitely rush to Skylight City without stopping. The martial arts competition for a spouse will be held as scheduled. Outside the city lord's residence, the arena will be opened. Tao Qianjun shouted in a deep voice. Countless people from the city lord's residence began to get busy. But now, there was not much time left for Tao Qianjun. The martial arts competition for a spouse had to be carried out as soon as possible. Now, even if only Monk Yuan Yin of the Tianluo Temple and gang men of the Penglai realm were left, they definitely could not stop. As long as he could obtain the support of either of these two forces, Tao Qianjun would not have to fear the Tianlai realm. At that time, Bai Jiagong's death could be investigated slowly. At least, he would not have to worry that Bai Chao of the Tianlai realm would do something desperate in desperation. Tao Qianjun was still worried. Before the martial arts competition started, he went to Xueqi Qihian's boudoir. Qianying, alas, it has really been hard on you. Your father is also extremely ashamed and angry. If you are not willing now, I will definitely not force you. The life and death of my ethereal realm is important, but my daughter's lifelong happiness is also equally important. Tao Qianjun said in a righteous manner. Xueqi Qihian shook her head and said in a low voice, I have already decided. Father, don't worry. As long as I can marry into any force, I will definitely not trespass on a single inch of the ethereal realm. Xueqi Qihian's persistence also made Tao Qianjun feel completely at ease. Now, he did not need to worry that his protection would fail. In the end, Xueqi Qihian did not disappoint him. Tao Qianjun had to admit that saving Xueqi Qihian was a completely correct decision. At the crucial moment, she had blocked such a scheming battle for him. How could he not feel happy? And his daughter was also exempted from this political marriage. Tao Qianjun was quite gratified in his heart. But this was life. For Tao Qianjun, this was nothing out of the ordinary. Xueqi Qihian was all alone in the world. If she could enter a large force and become the mistress of a family, it could also be considered a good fortune. At least, Tao Qianjun did not feel that he had pushed Xueqi Qihian into a bottomless abyss. Everything has its pros and cons. To Xueqi Qihian, this matter was not necessarily not a big change. I have really wronged you. Qianying, I really feel guilty in my heart. Tao Qianjuan's face was full of sorrow as he let out a long sigh. Xueqi Qihian's heart was as calm as still water. After all, this martial contest for a spouse was necessary for her. She had to repay what she owed. The next day, on the high platform of the city lord's mansion, Tao Qianjun stood proudly. Facing the hundreds of thousands of people of the ethereal realm who came to watch the battle, Tao Qianjun was unusually calm and indifferent. However, there was a faint smile on his face all along. Today is the day of my adopted daughter's wedding. The martial contest for a spouse is imminent. This old man is very happy to have a daughter at such an old age. My adopted daughter is a peerless beauty with a leisurely charm. Her beauty is unparalleled. Since ancient times, beauties have been paired with heroes. My adopted daughter's strength has already reached the early stage of the hierarch realm. Her strength is extraordinary. Naturally, I have to choose a powerful genius to be worthy of my adopted daughter. Therefore, I have specially set up an arena here today. Whoever wins will be able to marry my daughter and form an eternal bond with my ethereal realm, bringing peace and prosperity. Apart from this love, I, Tao Qianjun, will also present a peak immortal grade pill that I have treasured for many years, the Soul Rising Spirit Gathering Pill, as a dowry. Chapter 3104. However, unfortunately, the son of the Realm Lord of Heavenly Claw Realm, Bai Jiagong, has unfortunately died. Moreover, he died in my ethereal passage realm, in Heavenly Light City. I, Tao Qianjun, am duty-bound to investigate this matter thoroughly, and bring justice to the Heavenly Claw realm, and bring justice to Brother Bai. Now, only Penglai Boundaries Gu Gang and Tian Luo Temple's Reverend Tian Yin are left to fight for the top spot in the martial arts competition. However, Bai Jiagong has already passed away. For the sake of fairness, I'm willing to pick one of the experts from all over to have the chance to become my ethereal world's Lord's son-in-law. A stone that caused 1,000 ripples. By Jiagong's death and the fact that Tao Qianjun would choose a successor from the experts of the 8 regions had become the reason why everyone present had gone mad. This caused the groom search competition to be even more thought-provoking, and countless people raised their heads in anticipation as they hoped they would be able to win the heart of the beauty. Are you serious? Anyone can participate? That's great. Ha ha ha, I want to participate too. You're really a toad lusting after a swan's flesh. Do you think anyone can become the city lord's son-in-law? Haven't you heard that even the city lord's adopted daughter has reached the early hierarch realm? How many people can reach that level of strength? This brother's words are not false. Sigh, it's really impossible to compare oneself with others. Even among the true experts, you are still outstanding. Among the countless young geniuses here, there might not even be 10 who can surpass the hierarch realm. There's still hope. The hierarch realm experts are probably going crazy with joy now. Ha ha! Everyone's heart was itching. They had long wanted to see the city lord's adopted daughter's peerless beauty. Many of them were looking forward to it. Even if they could not become the city lord's son-in-law, just a glance was enough to make them remember it for life. At this moment, Yuki Chihyun, who was dressed in white, slowly walked out. Her face was covered by a green veil, but even so, it could not hide her peerless beauty. Her long hair fluttered in the wind, shaking the 9 provinces. Hundreds of thousands of people were fascinated by her. Just the green veil alone was enough to make people unable to look away. Who could imagine how beautiful this woman was? Her clothes fluttered in the wind, and she was graceful and graceful. She gave others a feeling of grace and elegance, but there was also a feeling of coldness. Is this woman as beautiful as us sisters? Yan Qingqing giggled and said. She looked at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen wrinkled his brows. He felt that the woman with a green veil on the high platform seemed to be somewhat familiar. He became absent-minded for a moment. Humph! Damn Jiang Chen. Stinky Jiang Chen. Eating from the bowl and looking at the pot. There is no good man. Don't you think so, Sister Ning? Yan Qingqing snorted coldly. Wu Ningzhu also smiled bitterly. The two of them had already covered their faces with green veil. Otherwise, they would definitely become the focus of the crowd outside the city lord's mansion. At that time, the entire city lord's mansion would probably be in an uproar. She is indeed very beautiful, Jiang Chen murmured. However, he could not remember who this woman was. That ice-cold temperament was extremely familiar to him. Looks like some people are going to turn this martial arts competition into reality. They said that it's for the medicine, but who knows if they are coveting the city lord's precious daughter. Yan Qingqing crossed her arms in front of her chest and glared at Jiang Chen with a hint of anger. This guy was really infatuated with her, causing Wu Ningzhu to giggle. How boring. Looks like this trash from Tianlai world deserved to die. He didn't even see my face before he was killed. How laughable and sad. Ha ha. His body was sturdy, his chest was exposed, and his face was covered with a full beard. He looked quite rough and his strength was quite good. His lips curled into a disdainful smirk. He naturally did not care about trash like this. He only had one goal, and that was to obtain the spiritual gathering pill, as well as the heart of the princess of the city lord's mansion. Originally, he only needed to obtain the soul-rising spirit gathering pill. However, from the looks of it now, that was not the case at all. This was because the city lord's mansion's princess was really too beautiful. He yearned for her and could not stop himself. Who wouldn't want such a woman? Moreover, as long as he could become the son-in-law of the city lord's mansion in the ethereal realm, his position and reputation in Penglai world would be even higher. In the future, it would be reasonable for him to succeed the position of Penglai realm lord. With the existence of the ethereal realm's marriage alliance, these trash from Tianlai world could also join hands and slowly plot against them. In this world, there were no eternal enemies or eternal friends. There were only eternal interests. As long as there was enough entanglement of interests, the Penglai realm would not only be able to collude with the Tianlai realm, but also with the ethereal realm and the Tian Luo temple. Even spiritual master Tianyin, who cultivated on behalf of Tian Luo temple, had his eyes fixed on Xueqi. This city lord's mansion's figure, temperament, beauty, and strength were all at the same time. He was determined to get her. The reason he came here this time was to gather strength for Tianluo Temple. Although he was not a true core disciple of Tianluo Temple, with spiritual master Tianin's strength and methods, he still had an unusually high position in Tianluo Temples. As one of the 10 famous temples of the West Pole, Tianluo Temple's strength and status were unquestionable. If the person who came today was a core disciple or successor of Tianluo Temple, even the Reverend of the 7 Realms of Moro Prefecture would have to come and pay his respects. Even so, spiritual master Tianin's visit to the ethereal realm represented Tianluo Temple to a certain extent. Their ultimate goal was to contact the ethereal realm. Moreover, Tao Qianjun had taken out the soul-condensing pill to protect himself and to find a qualified partner to rely on. Even a peak hierarch realm expert might not be able to take out such a powerful pill. However, as the ethereal realm lord for millions of years, Tao Qianjun's strength and status were still there. You can see me, but won't the ending be the same? Hehe. Tao Master Tianin looked at the man with disdain. His long hair was tied with a hairpin, and he looked like a talented man. Compared to the man with a rigid mouth, he was thousands of times better. He was like a gust of wind, as light as a swallow. His figure was thin, but his agile aura gave people a great pressure. As a spiritual master of Tianluo Temple, his strength was indeed not to be underestimated. Whether it's a mule or a horse, we have to drag him out for a walk. Aren't you afraid of cutting your tongue with your words? We'll know who the real prince consort is later. Humph. Chapter 3105. As you wish. You will be defeated very, very miserably. Tao Master Tianin said faintly, as if he was going to win. At this moment, among the 10 or so hierarch realm experts in the crowd, 7 of them were highly respected seniors. Among the remaining 4, there were 2 women. The remaining 2 early hierarch realm experts wanted to give it a try. After all, if they could win this martial contest for a spouse, not only would they get the beauty, they could also become the son-in-law of the hidden realm lord. Who wouldn't want to participate in such a good thing? However, the lowest requirement was the early hierarch realm. The rest of the people had no chance at all. I'm Zhang Liaoyuan. I want to give it a try. I hope the city lord agrees. I'm Su Jianshan. I also want to challenge the Tianluo Temple's spiritual master and Penglai Realm's young master. Tao Qianjun, the lord of the hidden realm, had a slight change in his expression when he saw the 2 of them. He knew both of them. Zhang Liaoyuan was his advisor, and Su Jianshan was an overlord of the hidden realm. Both of them possessed extraordinary strength, being at the early stage of the hierarch realm. Being able to become respected venerables, they were naturally not ordinary people. However, their strength might not be a match for Tao Master Tianin and Unyielding Mouth. Both of their strength had reached the peak early hierarch realm. If there were no accidents, the Emperor's son-in-law would be decided between Tao Master Tianin and Unyielding Mouth. Good. Both of you are our Nether Passage Realm's geniuses. This martial contest will definitely be a battle of the century for us. I'm very pleased, very pleased. Ha ha. Tao Qianjun said with a laugh. The green leaf matched with the red flower made him look fair and impartial. Count me in. Jiang Chen took a step forward and said with a faint smile. His appearance also startled Gangmen and Taoist Tianin. This person's strength made them feel a trace of danger, because his strength gave them a feeling of unfathomable depth. Jiang Chen was calm and composed, standing proudly in the void. He looked at Tao Qianjun on the city gate tower with a calm expression. Who are you? Tao Qianjun asked lightly. Rank 1 loose cultivator. I am Jiang Chen. Under the green veil, her beautiful eyes flickered with endless complicated emotions. There was panic, excitement, shock, joy, sorrow, and all sorts of other emotions. Her thoughts changed rapidly and turned into tears that she didn't know what to call. It's really him, it's really him. Xueqi stared at Jiang Chen in disbelief. She had even seen this scene in her dreams. He had fought alone for her, but was that figure really for her? Xueqi didn't know if Jiang Chen was aware of her existence, and she didn't know why he had come here. However, at this moment, everything seemed to be filled with hope. If he could come out on top, the person she loved might once again become the invincible hero in her dreams. All of this seemed to be specially arranged by the heavens. At this scene, The corner of Yuki Chihyun's mouth changed from the initial desolation and bitterness to the current slight anticipation, becoming the expression that she should have in her heart. Not long ago, Yuki Chihyun, who had almost lost all hope in life, had never thought that the heavens would play such a joke on her. She didn't know whether she loved Jiang Chen or not, but if she could marry him, perhaps it would be much better than those strangers. At least, she no longer had that inexplicable rejection in her heart. The person who had appeared in her dreams countless times had finally become a reality. It's him, it's him, it's him. Bai Jiagong was killed by him. I've seen it before. This guy killed Bai Jiagong in one move. It's really terrifying. Are you serious? You're not kidding, are you? Is this guy really the murderer who killed Bai Jiagong? It can't be wrong. I've seen it too. It's really terrifying. A battle between godly venerable realm experts is not something that we can hope to achieve. There was a commotion in the crowd. More and more people began to point fingers at Jiang Chen, but most of them were afraid. Because he killed Bai Jiagong, killed a godly venerable realm expert, and killed the future realm lord of Tianlai Boundary. This was unimaginable to anyone. At this moment, even Tao Qianjun had heard the rumors. Was this guy in front of him really the one who killed Bai Jiagong, the son of Tianlai Boundary's realm lord? You killed Bai Jiagong? Tao Qianjun asked in a deep voice. A scumbag deserves to die. Jiang Chen said coldly. A scumbag? You killed the son of a realm lord for no reason. Aren't you afraid that Tianlai Boundary's lord will find you? Aren't you afraid that you'll be besieged and hunted down by the entire realm? Tao Qianjun pressed forward and looked at Jiang Chen. Since he's here, I'll kill him. Tao Qianjun's eyes narrowed as he looked at Jiang Chen deeply. He was not afraid of Jiang Chen, but the current situation was not too optimistic for them. This person who could kill Bai Jiagong was definitely not an ordinary person. If he really won this battle, how would it end? Since you have the ability to kill Bai Jiagong, it seems that your strength is not bad. I'd like to see it for myself. Spiritual Master Tianyin looked at Jiang Chen with a smile. If you kill Bai Jiagong, you'll be qualified to fight with me. Tao Qianjun said faintly. At this moment, Tao Qianjun also fell into silence. Now, he was not afraid of Tianlai Boundary, but this guy who was causing trouble. Moreover, Tianlai Boundary's realm lord probably already knew that his son had been killed. Delaying him first was also an expedient measure. Alright, I can give you a chance, but it depends on whether you can grasp it or not. The corner of Tao Qianjun's mouth suddenly curled up as he looked at Jiang Chen. This guy always gave him an unpredictable feeling. To be able to kill Bai Jiagong, he must have some tricks up his sleeves. Thank you, City Lord. Jiang Chen cupped his hands and said, Then let me try and see how much you're worth. Zhang Liuan looked at Jiang Chen with a faint smile. Then, it's up to you, Brother Zhang. Su Jianshan smiled. Originally, he also wanted to make a move, but Zhang Liaoyuan took the initiative. This kind of scene of being in the limelight was quite exciting for them. Both of you, come at me together. Jiang Chen's words once again caused an uproar among the crowd. Many of them even took a deep breath. This Jiang Chen is too arrogant, isn't he? How could he be so daring? Two hierarch realm experts attacking at the same time. This was simply unimaginable. Chapter 3106. Sigh, this guy won't be able to go far. He's so arrogant and wants to fight two people at the same time. He's digging his own grave. I thought he's a powerful expert, but it seems like he's just a fool. I'm looking forward to this guy defeating Bai Jiagong. Ha! Both the soul condensing pill and the city lord's daughter are very tempting. I'd like to give it a try if I'm not weak. Jiang Chen's arrogance made Su Jianshan and Zhang Liuan furious. Isn't he looking down on us? The two of them were enraged and their faces instantly turned gloomy. I alone am enough to deal with you, Zhang Liuan said in a deep voice. You're not my match. Jiang Chen shook his head. Weak, too weak. Even when facing a late hierarch realm expert like Lin Yukong, he could only force him back with one palm. These two early hierarch realm experts could not pique Jiang Chen's interest at all. He had his own reasons for wanting the two of them to fight at the same time. He wanted them to not lose too badly. But it was obvious that Jiang Chen's good intentions were a blatant provocation in their eyes, a manifestation of arrogance and conceit. Is this guy really capable, or is he stupid? He wants to fight two people at the same time? Hee. Zhang Luan sneered. I think he's capable. Daoist Tianyin said faintly. His eyes were fixed on Jiang Chen from the beginning to the end. Although this guy looked ordinary, he gave people the feeling of a vast ocean. This wasn't something an ordinary man could do. Let's fight together. Then you won't lose too badly. Jiang Chen said. All right, I'll fulfill your wish. Brother Zhang, let's fight together. If we don't teach this arrogant guy a lesson today, he really doesn't know what's good for him. Su Jianshan shouted angrily and looked at Zhang Liaoyuan. Both of them tacitly agreed to attack each other. This guy must be taught a lesson. Tao Qianjun was also looking forward to Jiang Chen's battle. Jiang Chen's strength should be able to contend with Zhang Liaoyuan and Su Jianshan, the two early-stage hierarch realm experts. After all, Bai Jiagong might not be their match if the two of them joined forces. After all, they were both hierarch realm experts. This is the real you, Yuki Chihian murmured. He was still as cold as before, calm and composed as before, as steady as Mount Tai, as if he didn't care about anything in the world. He was as proud and aloof as a goshawk in the sky, or as arrogant as a Kuanping in the 9 regions. He was so conceited, yet so insufferably arrogant. Everyone was watching the scene. Under everyone's attention, Jiang Chen stood proudly while Zhang Liaoyuan and Su Jianshan, the two early-stage hierarch realm experts, launched their attacks. Their terrifying auras swept across 10 miles. If it wasn't for the protective barrier around the arena, perhaps the area within 1,000 miles would have been flattened. Both of them used all their skills. Their fists and palms collided with each other, causing layers of air waves to roll. That kind of power made those below the hierarch realm to hold their breaths. They did not dare to miss it, let alone look at it directly. They were too strong. However, Jiang Chen did not hold back. His expression was calm as he struck out both of his palms. Su Jianshan and Zhang Liaoyuan's attacks were destroyed in an instant by Jiang Chen's palms. It was like breaking dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. The seemingly strong attacks were destroyed by Jiang Chen's palms. What followed was a terrifying wave that could overturn the heavens and earth. Zhang Liaoyuan and Su Jianshan's attacks were not weak, but they were completely destroyed by Jiang Chen's palms. Moreover, they were defeated in just one move. The two of them did not even have the strength to fight back and were sent flying by Jiang Chen's palms. They were seriously injured. From the beginning to the end, Jiang Chen only used one move and it was enough to severely injure the two of them. Even Tao Qianjun did not dare to say that he could do such a thing. Wasn't his strength a little too terrifying? Even Jiang Chen and Su Jianshan could not believe their own eyes after repelling the two of them. However, after 10 breaths, they finally realized that Jiang Chen had gone easy on them. If he did not go easy on them, the two of them would have been dead by now. The two of them looked at each other in shock. However, the truth was as Jiang Chen had said. They were not a match for Jiang Chen. It was not sarcasm nor arrogance. It was confidence. It was the unchangeable truth. After a while, the entire arena was filled with thunderous applause. It was even more shocking than Tao Qianjuan's speech. Jiang Chen's technique had shown them what it meant to be truly shocking. He defeated his opponent with just one move. It was something that many people could only dream of. Not to mention those divine king realm experts. Even those hierarch realm experts were still in shock. Just with pure strength and without any fancy moves, he had seriously injured 2 hierarch realm experts. How impressive and domineering was that? This man is really terrifying. Now I feel that Bai Jiagong's death was not unjust. Yeah, I heard that he was killed for flirting with someone's wife. He deserved it. No one can challenge the pride of an expert. He has the right to be proud. Jiang Chen defeated his opponent with just one move. It became a story that everyone was talking about. Jiang Chen had become famous after this battle. Countless people admired him. Jiang Chen looked at the green-veiled lady on the tower again. When their eyes met, Jiang Chen's heart skipped a beat. However, he still could not remember who that lady was. However, he knew that he definitely knew that lady. You're really strong. I can't wait anymore. An earth-shattering fighting intent was emitted from his unyielding eyes. His majestic and mighty body gave off a suffocating pressure that was akin to a mountain pressing down on others. I know that I'm strong. However, it's a fact that you're weak. Jiang Chen said with a smile. Jiang Chen was a bit too good at making fun of people. Wasn't he? Everyone was startled by his words. However, to be honest, many of them couldn't help but laugh out loud. This Jiang Chen was quite interesting. He was the first person to look down on a hierarch realm expert. You'll pay for your arrogance. Roar. Chapter 3107. So strong. The strong-mouthed disciple was shocked and rushed forward again. This time, he was even stronger than before. Heaven-splitting divine axe. Invincible. The strong-mouthed disciple shouted angrily. Instead of retreating, he charged forward with the momentum of a bull, shocking many people. Jiang Chen's expression was calm. With a flip of his hand, he punched out again. The fist wind intertwined with the 9-foot gold-plated axe, and the 9-foot gold-plated axe was actually shattered by Jiang Chen. Lines and lines of cracks appeared on the axe. The strong-mouthed disciple's expression changed greatly, and he retreated. This terrifying vibration caused the 9-foot gold-plated axe to collide with him. The feeling of being heavily injured by his own divine weapon made the strong-mouthed disciple want to cry, but no tears came out. The 9-foot gold-plated axe was instantly shattered, and he was also sent flying like a kite with a broken string. He was completely defeated. The audience was shocked once again. Jiang Chen was like an ancient bull. With a punch and a palm, he dealt with everyone, but he was as steady as Mount Tai. Even Tao Qianjun started to worry. Now, he could only hope that the Lord of Tianlai realm would appear quickly and suppress Jiang Chen. Then, he would be able to do the Lord of Tianlai realm a favor. At the very least, he would be able to stop the Tianlai realm from taking their anger out on him. The son-in-law he valued the most was the strong-mouthed disciple and the Reverend Tian Yin. This was because the strength of the Panglai realm and the Tian Luo temple was quite strong, especially the Tian Luo temple. If he could climb up the tree that was the Tian Luo temple, then he would definitely be able to rise rapidly in the Moro prefecture in the future, and he would not have to fear anyone. However, all of this depended on the Reverend Tian Yin. Now, the strong-mouthed disciple of the Panglai realm had been defeated, and only the Reverend Tian Yin was left. This forced Tao Qianjun to make preparations in advance. Jiang Chen's strength had exceeded his expectations. In the end, if Jiang Chen wanted to leave, he might have to suppress him. I already said that your strength is too weak, but you just don't believe me. Jiang Chen smiled and said. At this moment, he had nothing to say. After all, he had lost to Jiang Chen. Moreover, he had lost in a rather ugly manner. However, he had not died in the hands of Jiang Chen. After all, it was rumored that Jiang Chen had killed by Jiagong. Now it seemed that this guy had the strength to do so. Now it seems that you are indeed the strongest. However, in front of me, you don't have the qualifications to be arrogant. As one of the strongest disciples in Tian Luo Temple, it looks like I'll have to show you the true power of an ancient temple today. Tao Master Tianyin looked at Jiang Chen and said faintly, Ancient Heaven Luo Temple? I've never heard of it. I wonder what's the relationship between Hongyan Temple and Tian Luo Temple? Jiang Chen said, You know Hongyan Temple? Taoist Tianyin said with a faint smile. It was not strange for him to know about Hongyan Temple. After all, as one of the top 10 ancient temples in the entire West Pole state, Hongyan Temple could barely be considered as the 10th. Do you know Taoist Qi Yan from Hongyan Temple? Jiang Chen asked. You know Taoist Qi Yan? He's an eminent monk from Hongyan Temple. How could I not know him? However, Hongyan Temple and Tian Luo Temple don't interact with each other. Taoist Tianyin said proudly. If you can't even defeat Taoist Qi Yan, I advise you not to fight anymore. Taoist Qi Yan might be an eminent monk, but I'm not afraid of him. Even if he's here today, I'll definitely exchange a few moves with him. Taoist Tianyin said. I'm afraid you won't have the chance. You're not even comparable to Taoist Qi Yan. It seems like this battle is meaningless. Jiang Chen's words made Taoist Tianyin's expression turn solemn. Why? Because he's already dead. Jiang Chen said faintly. What? Taoist Tianyin couldn't believe what Jiang Chen said. If what he said was true, that Taoist Qi Yan was already dead, then how strong was this guy? Taoist Qi Yan's strength was quite powerful. Furthermore, he was an eminent monk from Hongyan Temple. Taoist Tianyin still couldn't believe that Jiang Chen was able to kill him. However, looking at Jiang Chen's confident expression, he was also skeptical. No matter what, if you want to get the beauty today, you'll have to go through me. Humph. Taoist Tianyin sneered. Whether it was true or not, He had to give it a try. If he really wasn't a match for Jiang Chen, it was understandable for him to retreat. However, he was quite fond of the Castellan's daughter and the soul-rising aura-gathering pill. Wouldn't it be better to have both? If this guy didn't appear out of nowhere, perhaps he would have already been together with the Castellan's daughter. All right, I'll fulfill your wish. Jiang Chen smiled faintly. To him, these guys were like chickens and dogs. However, what he wanted was not the Castellan's daughter, but the soul-rising aura-gathering pill. Yuki Chihian was incomparably nervous. She knew that if Jiang Chen could defeat Daoist Tianyin, he would become the son-in-law of the Castellan's daughter. To Yuki Chihian, this might be the best outcome. Even Yuki Chihian's calm heart was filled with a trace of anticipation and excitement. If it's really him, then I'll just accept my fate. It's a good ending to be able to stay by his side. It's time and fate. Yuki Chihian's lips curled up into a faint smile. Under her green veil, a trace of maiden's feelings rippled. Tao Chenjuan's face was solemn. Jiang Chen had defeated 3 people consecutively. His heart was getting more and more worried. He hoped that Daoist Tianyin could defeat Jiang Chen. If that was the case, his plan would become a reality. He would board the ship of Tianluo Temple and help the Lord of Tianlai Realm to capture Jiang Chen. This way, the Lord of Tianlai Realm wouldn't vent his anger on him. It could be said to be the most perfect ending. However, Jiang Chen was the biggest variable in all of this. He hoped that he wouldn't defeat Daoist Tianyin. Otherwise, things would become extremely bad. He would be surrounded by enemies. If Tianlai Realm and Panglai Realm joined forces, his situation in the ethereal realm would become even more difficult. Jiang Chen! Jiang Chen! Jiang Chen! Outside the arena of the city lord's mansion, hundreds of thousands of people were cheering and cheering for Jiang Chen. Although they didn't know Jiang Chen, they didn't know Daoist Tianyin either. This guy who appeared out of nowhere was like a devil incarnate. He was like a brother or sister who walked out from among them. Naturally, he would receive everyone's support. Most importantly, Jiang Chen's strength was too strong. It was as if he was crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. His strength was so strong that it made people speechless. Looks like little Chenzi is going to win, Wu Ningzhu said with a smile. Sister Ning, how can you still smile? If that guy wins, I'm afraid that peerless girl on top of the city tower will definitely give herself to little Chenzi. Didn't you see how radiant he was before? How he winked at people. Just looking at him makes me angry. Humph, this guy is like eating from the pot and looking at the pot. Yan Qingqing crossed her arms in front of her chest. Her face was filled with dissatisfaction. Then can you still control it? If he really has such intentions, as his women, we should support him. If he doesn't have such intentions, as his women, shouldn't we believe him even more? Chapter 3108. Feeling 2 sharp gazes, Yuki Chihian also looked at Wu Ningzhu and Yan Qingqing. At this moment, her heart was filled with shock. Her face was still covered by a green veil, but the appearance and temperament of those 2 girls had already made Yuki Chihian feel as if they were celestial beings. Her beautiful eyes were filled with splendor. What kind of man would be able to control such girls? Yuki Chihian murmured. She was incomparably shocked. Although she was extremely confident in herself, her confidence had already vanished into thin air when facing these 2 stunning girls. As for these 2 women, when they looked at him, there was actually a faint hostility in their eyes. At this moment, Daoist Tianyin was also incomparably solemn towards Jiang Chen. The battle between the 2 was about to break out. This is the day of your death. You can't win against me. Daoist Tianyin held the Buddhist discipline staff in his hand as he charged towards Jiang Chen. Layers of Buddhist discipline staff shadows flew up high into the sky. Jiang Chen held his blade horizontally and faced the attack with only one hand. He wasn't afraid of Daoist Tianyin at all. Facing the incoming Buddhist discipline staff shadows, Jiang Chen showed no signs of fear. He threw out a fist shadow with a terrifying aura. Daoist Tianyin's unparalleled Buddhist discipline staff shadows smashed onto Jiang Chen's hand, but they were continuously pushed back. Jiang Chen's expression was indifferent, but Daoist Tianyin's expression changed greatly. Just one move was enough to make Daoist Tianyin feel how terrifying Jiang Chen was. Using an iron fist to counter it was simply too terrifying. Who wouldn't be shocked when this strike came crashing down? What a terrifying aura! Su Jianshan, Zhang Liaoyuan, and even Xiongman were overwhelmed with shock. Wasn't Jiang Chen being too arrogant? But this punch gave them a deep understanding of jealousy. Jiang Chen indeed had the capital to be arrogant. Daoist Tianyin's powerful might made them feel a wave of palpitations, but in Jiang Chen's hands, it was like a child playing house. Within 3 moves, Sage Tianyin had already unleashed all of his techniques. His strongest attack had landed, but he was unable to break through Jiang Chen's palm wind. After 3 moves, Jiang Chen also instantly counterattacked. Under the superposition of his fist and palm, his strength split Mount Hua. His unparalleled posture shocked the world. One punch shook 3 mountains. Qi waves surged as a terrifying might surged forth, rendering Daoist Tianyin completely unable to block Jiang Chen's attack. The rod in his hand was directly split into 2 by Jiang Chen. Daoist Tianyin's face changed as he staggered backward. Jiang Chen took advantage of the situation to chase after him, sending out a palm strike that caused thunder to rumble. No! Daoist Tianyin bellowed. But Jiang Chen's palm wind had already landed. He was unable to retaliate and was directly sent flying by Jiang Chen. Daoist Tianyin suffered a crushing defeat, and without any warning, he was forced to retreat. His body was covered in injuries. If it wasn't for Jiang Chen not using his full strength, Daoist Tianyin would probably be in an even more miserable state. The crowd once again burst into thunderous applause. Jiang Chen had used an overwhelming advantage to defeat 4 people in a row. Now the scene was quite lively, and no one could stop the surging enthusiasm of the crowd. Yuki Chihyun's cheeks carried a faint blush. Jiang Chen did not let her down after all. In the end, this guy still managed to come out on top. Jiang Chen! Jiang Chen! Jiang Chen! Jiang Chen's cheers were deafening, each louder than the last. Jiang Chen was like a representative of the powerless crowd. He was not like the genius disciples of Tianlai Realm, Penglai Realm, or Tianluo Temple with strong backgrounds. Jiang Chen, on the other hand, was all alone and looked down on the crowd. This was true ability. Tao Chenjuan's expression became a little embarrassed. He wanted to borrow the power of the Tianluo Temple and Penglai Realm to form a marriage alliance, but he did not succeed. His plans were directly disrupted by this kid who appeared out of nowhere. Naturally, he felt quite sullen. Thank you for letting me win, Lord City Lord. I should be the final victor. Now, can you give me the soul-raising spirit-gathering pill? Jiang Chen said with a faint smile. You killed the son of the Lord of Tianlai Realm. Before the matter is cleared up, how can I marry my daughter to you? Everything will be decided after the Lord of Tianlai Realm arrives. Tao Chenjun said lightly. Jiang Chen's expression changed. The moment he looked at Tao Chenjun again, his expression became cold. In that case, Lord City Lord, are you going to go back on your word? Are you going to tear up your promise in front of so many people? Jiang Chen said coldly, pressing forward step by step. Yes, Lord City Lord won't go back on his word, right? That's too funny. If that's really the case, I'll feel ashamed. Are the words of the dignified Lord City Lord not as good as farts? Shoo! Lower your voice. Be careful of the trouble that comes from the mouth. Lord City Lord might have his own difficulties. What difficulties? Isn't it just that he doesn't want this guy to become his son-in-law? Didn't you see that Taoist Master Tianyin has the Tianluo Temple behind him, Penglai Realm is behind him, and by Jiagong has Tianlai Realm? If it's an ordinary person, how could he become Tao Chenjuan's son-in-law? In the end, isn't it just a political marriage alliance? TSK, if Lord City Lord really goes back on his word this time, then I'll immediately withdraw from the Netherworld. At this time, many of the spectators were relatively supportive of Jiang Chen. After all, Jiang Chen had obtained first place and obtained the final victory. If Lord City Lord went back on his word, he would be slapping his own face. How would he explain to the millions of people? How would he gain a foothold in the Netherworld? How would he be respected and loved by tens of thousands of people? This was an extremely serious question. Tao Chenjun had no choice but to take it seriously. Tao Chenjuan's eyes turned cold. He said in a deep voice, Kid, don't fail to appreciate my kindness. When did I say that I would go back on my word? It's just that you killed the son of Tianlai Realm's Realm Lord. If I let you marry into the Netherworld just like that, Tianlai Realm would start a war with my Netherworld. Then wouldn't I become the eternal sinner of the Netherworld? Tao Chenjuan's words were like pearls, reasonable and well-grounded. At this moment, even those spectators chose to remain silent. Indeed, Tao Chenjuan's words were not false. Jiang Chen had killed Bai Jiagong, so Tianlai realm would not let the matter rest. And once Tianlai realm vented their anger, it would very likely lead to a war between realms, and Jiang Chen would become the biggest target. This was indeed something that the people of the Netherworld had not thought of. They had never imagined that they had wrongly blamed Lord City Lord. At this moment, it was Jiang Chen who had become the target of scorn. At least now, it was already impossible for Jiang Chen to marry the City Lord's daughter. At the very least, he had to first solve the problem of Tianlai realm. Chapter 3109. At the end of the day, is this the reason why you speak irresponsibly and go back on your word? Jiang Chen sneered and snorted. Tao Chenjuan's face was gloomy and he completely ignored Jiang Chen. You only have yourself to blame. If you didn't kill the son of Tianlai realm's lord, how could this matter have developed to this stage? How could it have become your hindrance? Originally, I wanted to betroth my daughter to a handsome young man, but you are immoral. How can I be at ease? Tao Chenjun shouted in a low voice. If you want to pin a crime on someone, you can always find a pretext. You really disappoint me. Jiang Chen shook his head and said. It seemed that he had to use force. Shameless thief, give me back my son's life. Thunder rumbled and exploded in the void. A loud shout made everyone's expression change drastically. Within 1,000 miles, the sound waves rolled and shook people's hearts. It's Bai Chao. Has Tianlai realm's lord finally come? Tao Chenjuan's lips curled into a cold smile. Jiang Chen's time of death had come. As long as this guy died, he could start the martial arts competition again. At that time, he would definitely be able to find a suitable son-in-law from Penglai realm and Tianluo temple. Who is that? What a terrifying aura. It's someone from Tianlai realm. Could it be Bai Jiagong's father? It must be Bai Chao. It must be Tianlai realm's lord. What a powerful aura. This time, Jiang Chen will not be able to escape. Everyone looked up into the air, and as expected, a red-haired man stepped on a green cloud. He was clad in golden armor, and he held a meteor hammer in his hand. Beneath him was a three-eyed amethyst lion. His aura was majestic and intimidating. Brother Bai, you're finally here. Tao Chenjun said in a low voice. My son can't die in vain. Your nether passage realm will have to bear the blame. Who else could it be but Bai Chao? A terrifying sound wave caused the experts in all directions to tremble, as if they were afraid of a tiger. I know what I'm doing. Although Jiang Chen won first place in the martial contest for a spouse, I resolutely refused him, all for the sake of returning justice to Brother Bai. Young Master Bai can't die in vain. Even if you hadn't appeared, I would have forced him to carry a thorn and ask for punishment. Such a person isn't fit to be the son-in-law of the Nether Passage realm. Since Brother Bai has come, I'll leave him to you to deal with. If you want to kill or scrape, it's all up to you. Tao Chenjuan's righteous words were spoken with a strong sense of righteousness, and it was even to the extent that it caused others to be unable to refrain from shedding tears. But in Jiang Chen's opinion, it was hypocrisy, and it couldn't be any more fake. It was as if Jiang Chen was his subordinate, arrogant and bossy. That kind of high and mighty attitude caused Jiang Chen to laugh coldly. How did such a person become the ruler of a world? Who do you think you are? You even dare to order me around. Ha ha ha. Jiang Chen pointed at Tao Chenjun as he spoke while laughing wildly. I originally thought that since I, Jiang Chen, had defeated them in a just and proper manner, this medicinal pill would naturally belong to me. But now it seems that if I don't use force, do you really think that I'm easy to bully? Humph! Jiang Chen shouted coldly. His gaze was terrifying, and even Tao Chenjun felt quite a bit of pressure from him. Boy, you dare! You're someone who deserves to die, so it's only right that Brother Bai kill you. A life for a life. This is the cycle of the heavens, and it's not up to you. Tao Chenjun pretended to be the envoy of justice and spoke nonsense. At this moment, the person who was the most worried was Xueqi. She'd never imagined that the matter would actually develop to such an extent. She'd originally thought that the heavens had greatly changed her fate, but who would have imagined that such a scene would actually occur? This was simply forcing her into a hopeless situation. If Jiang Chen died, then she would absolutely not live alone. The outcome of the battle had already been decided. She was now Jiang Chen's woman, so how could she give herself to someone else? To Xueqi Qihyun, this was impossible. She'd rather choose death. Faithful to the end, unswerving until death. This was Xueqi Qihyun. Do you think that I care about your daughter? Do you really think that I want to be your son-in-law? What I want is merely the soul-rising spiritual pill. I'll kill anyone who dares to stop me. Jiang Chen's eyes flickered coldly. At this moment, he could only snatch it. At this moment, Yan Qingqing and Wu Ningzhu both soared into the sky and stood guard by Jiang Chen's side. The two stunning beauties caused even more astonishment in all directions. What? Xueqi Qihyun couldn't believe her eyes. So, he doesn't want me at all. What he wants is just a mere pill. Am I really that worthless in his eyes? Xueqi Qihyun slumped on the stone pillar and smiled bitterly. Yeah, with such a stunning wife, how could he be interested in a lowly person like me? From the beginning to the end, it was just her wishful thinking. From the beginning to the end, she was just a grain of sand in Jiang Chen's eyes, insignificant. At this moment, Xueqi Qihyun's heart was as dead ashes. Xueqi had always felt that she was noble and arrogant. She was not the kind of person who would fall into the mundane world. However, she was worthless in Jiang Chen's eyes. No one could understand the pain she was feeling in her heart. It was an incomparable sense of defeat. It was a kind of desolation where her heart was like dead ashes. What's the use of me in this world? What's the use of me in this world? Xueqi Qihyun realized that even if she really fell down, perhaps no one would mourn for her, and it wouldn't stir up any dust on the ground. Ha ha ha, good. Everyone heard it, right? This guy is intentionally causing trouble, and he even wanted to scheme for my medicinal pills, kill the son of the realm lord of Tianlai realm, and instigate a battle between us and the Tianlai realm. You really are a schemer. Humph. Brother Bai, let's join hands today and kill this bastard together. Tao Qianjun shouted angrily. He laughed coldly and pointed at Jiang Chen. At this moment, Jiang Chen instantly became the target of everyone's criticism. Bai Chao also hated Jiang Chen to the bone. After all, Jiang Chen had killed his son. This debt was absolutely irreconcilable. Give me your life. You have to pay the price for your arrogance, Bai Chao said in a deep voice. He held the meteor hammer in his hand and the three-eyed amethyst lion under him leaped into the air and charged towards Jiang Chen. Retreat, Jiang Chen said. Wu Ningzhu and Yan Qingqing quickly retreated. The current Yan Qingqing had already reached the hierarch realm. However, Wu Ningzhu was only a late divine king. She couldn't help Jiang Chen much. Today, I, Jiang Chen, will start a massacre. Let's see who can stop me. Jiang Chen sneered. In this world, if there were no divine emperor experts, who could do anything to him? Even a half-step divine emperor could only serve as a foil to him. Not to mention these hierarch experts who didn't know their place. Chapter 31:10. This person's strength has already reached the peak of the middle divine venerable realm. It's too terrifying. I reckon that this Jiang Chen is dead for sure. Sigh, if he wants to blame someone, he can only blame himself. Who does he think he is? He even dared to kill the son of the realm lord. He's too audacious. Impermanence in the world. Who would have thought that this all-powerful guy would be killed so quickly? Who can stop the Tianlai realm lord and our realm lord from the Nether Passage realm? Haha, I reckon that this Jiang Chen might not even be able to defeat the lion under the Tianlai realm lord. It's a pity. Those two beauties will definitely perish like Jiang Chen. Bai Chao's attack was like a thunderbolt. One man and one lion were unstoppable. From their point of view, Jiang Chen seemed to have already been killed. At this moment, Xueqi Qihyun gritted her teeth. From her point of view, Jiang Chen had also fallen into a dead end. Two great realm lords attacked at the same time. How could he still have a chance to survive? Xueqi Qihyun's heart was already filled with love. Regardless of whether Jiang Chen would marry her or not, regardless of whether Jiang Chen loved her, since she was the final victor of the marriage contest, then in Xueqi Qihyun's heart, there was only Jiang Chen. Even if she was going to die, she would die before him. Xueqi Qihyun did not hesitate at all. She resolutely rushed out, like a ray of light, rushing to the peak of the void. This scene was unexpected. The daughter of the city lord actually made a move, and directly blocked in front of Jiang Chen. This scene was unexpected. Jiang Chen did not notice it either. At the moment when Bai Chao attacked, there was actually someone standing in front of him and blocking this attack for him. Blood sprayed out from the white-robed figure. It was like a cold light that pierced into Jiang Chen's chest. Jiang Chen frowned. His heart was filled with an indescribable pain. Who could it be? He had actually risked his life for him to block the attack of the Tianlai Realm Lord. Originally, Jiang Chen basically didn't need anyone to block him. But in Xueqi Qian's heart, no matter how strong Jiang Chen was, could he be stronger than two world overlords? No matter how fast his strength increased, how could he be a match for them? Therefore, Xueqi Qian had no choice but to step forward. This was her only choice, and also her final farewell. No! Tao Qianjun roared angrily, but it was already too late. Because Xueqi Qian had appeared too suddenly, no one had noticed her. Jiang Chen also didn't have the time to save her. Her and the Tianlai Realm Lord's attacks seemed to have appeared in an instant. That kind of despair and deathly stillness continuously spread out. Tao Qianjuan's heart instantly collapsed. Because once Xueqi Qian died, everything he had done before would be useless. Xueqi Qian was his chess piece, his most important trump card. Once Xueqi Qian died, it was possible that he would lose everything. A smear of bright purple and red blood splattered on Xueqi Qian's snow-white clothes. Jiang Chen quickly acted, and saved Xueqi Qian. The green veil slid down, and Jiang Chen's gaze was also completely fixed on Xueqi Qian's face. Shock, surprise, trepidation, panic, and finally, solemnity. Jiang Chen's expression was incomparably grim. He knew that he was wrong, and it was a huge mistake. He should have thought long ago that this person was someone he knew. From her gaze, he must have seen it before. It was as if he had seen it before. The corner of Xueqi Qian's mouth was still indifferent and calm. It was as cold as frost, just like her face that had never changed in 10,000 years. But the corner of her mouth was covered with blood, but it was gentler and more real. In Jiang Chen's eyes, Xueqi Qian was so beautiful, so cold, and so charming. But unfortunately, her breath was fading away little by little, and her eyes were gradually dimming. "I'm sorry, I didn't know it was you," Jiang Chen said in a low voice. Xueqi Qian gently covered Jiang Chen's mouth with her slender fingers. "Don't say sorry. All of this is predestined. Maybe we are not fated to be together. No matter how unbearable I am in your eyes, or how hateful I am to you, from the moment you defeated everyone, I, Xueqi Qian, am also yours. It doesn't matter if you admit it or not. I, Xueqi Qian, will never give myself to another man. Although, in the end, the one you want is not me." At this moment, Xueqi Qian's eyes dimmed. Her heart was abnormally cold, because Jiang Chen said that the one he wanted was not her, but a pill. "Compared to the two girls beside you, am I too ugly?" Hee. Xueqi Qian said with a bitter smile. She felt like there was an ugly duckling living in her heart. Whether it was Yan Qingqing or Wu Ningzhu, both of them were so beautiful, so outstanding. Compared to them, she was simply too inferior. "I know that in your heart, I am just a passerby. But I hope that from now on, you will remember me. Don't blame my foster father. My life was saved by him. Even if I am unwilling, this is my choice, and also my fate. Leave quickly, you are not their match. Otherwise, even if I die, it will be in vain." Xueqi Qian held Jiang Chen's hand tightly. A peerless beauty, a beauty that could topple a city, had perished at this moment. The wind stopped, the clouds dispersed, but Xueqi Qian's aura had also disappeared without a trace. Jiang Chen's eyes became gentle as he nodded his head silently. He continued to inject the myriad qi into Xueqi Qian's body. But it was too late. Even if an Emperor Realm expert was here, he might not be able to save her. "Promise me. Leave quickly, live well." Xueqi Qian spurted out a mouthful of blood. Her vitality was also slowly severed at this moment. "Why are you so foolish? So foolish. How did you know that they are no different than dolls in my hands? So foolish." Jiang Chen sighed. His hands started to tremble. His gaze became extremely sharp as he murmured. A monstrous aura surged out from him, causing everyone's expression to change. Jiang Chen's aura was like a peerless devil that had descended from the heavens. That invisible storm caused everyone's heart to tremble. "Looks like they knew each other long ago," Yan Qingqing said in a low voice. To be willing to die for little Chenzi, it means that she's not a simple girl. Wu Ningzhu said in a low voice. Bai Chao. Tian Lai boundary. Tao Qin Jun. Ethereal boundary. Ha ha ha, today, I will wash the ethereal boundary with blood and trample on Tian Lai. When Jiang Chen raised his head again, he looked at Tao Chen Jun and Bai Chao. A deathly aura filled the air. Both of them must die. Such a big tone. Humph. I haven't had the time to settle the debt with you. What's so great about a stinky girl? The one that I'm going to die is my precious son. Bai Chao roared angrily. Even if it's you and your son, 1,000 dog lives, it's not even worth a finger of hers. Jiang Chen shook his head. When his eyes met Bai Chao's, Bai Chao felt his heart palpitating. This guy's eyes were really terrifying. But what could he do? Terrifying eyes didn't mean that he was strong. Today nobody could change his mind. My adopted daughter died because of you. Brat, I will never let you go. Tao Chen Jun said ferociously. Chapter 31:11. At this moment, all of his efforts were destroyed by Jiang Chen. How could he not be angry? Moreover, he had to join hands with Bai Chao to kill Jiang Chen. Otherwise, he would not be able to absolve himself from the blame and the marriage contest would become a joke. He no longer had any tools or trump cards left. He could only choose to fight with his life on the line. Jiang Chen must die. He must turn his bones into ashes. A bunch of ignorant fools. Jiang Chen said faintly. You're still stubborn even when you're about to die. Three-eyed amethyst lion, go. Bai Chao looked down on everyone. His strength was the same as Tao Chen Jun, a peak mid-hierarch realm expert. Killing a little bastard would be a piece of cake for him. Although Jiang Chen had defeated many people and even killed his son, those people were still trash in Bai Chao's eyes. They could not be compared to him at all. Even his three-eyed amethyst lion had reached the mid-hierarch realm. At the same time, he regretted his actions. His son wanted to bring the three-eyed amethyst lion along with him, but Bai Chao did not agree. If the three-eyed amethyst lion had followed him to the netherworld, things would have ended differently. The three-eyed amethyst lion charged towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen looked at it coldly and punched the three-eyed amethyst lion's skull. The three-eyed amethyst lion howled and retreated. Its three eyes were filled with flames of anger. How dare you hurt my divine beast? Go to hell. Bai Chao and the three-eyed amethyst lion joined hands and instantly closed in on Jiang Chen. Both of them had rich battle experience and complemented each other. Even a late hierarch realm expert might not be able to win against them. Jiang Chen had just broken through to the mid-hierarch realm. How could he be a match for him? Jiang Chen looked calm. His iron fists moved in all directions. If you have any moves, just use them. Otherwise, you'll die a horrible death. Tao Chen Jun sneered, and he instantly joined the battle as well. Because he was afraid that Bai Chao would instantly annihilate Jiang Chen, and there would be nothing left for him to do. Wouldn't that be extremely embarrassing? You are not worthy of me drawing my sword, Jiang Chen said in a cold voice. With a move of his palm, the 5 elements divine dragon seal flipped out. A monstrous palm print blotted out the sun and covered the sky. Tao Chenjuan's expression changed abruptly. He didn't expect that Jiang Chen would actually display such a terrifying palm print. He didn't dare to underestimate Jiang Chen at all. Sky Silkworm Scimitar. Tao Chenjun held the curved blade in his hand and swept out horizontally, creating a broad path. However, Jiang Chen's 5 elements divine dragon seal was still unable to be split apart by Tao Chenjun. In the end, the 5 elements divine dragon seal forced Tao Chenjun to retreat. His perlicue was also filled with blood. Tao Chenjun was forced to retreat with a single strike. Everyone in the Nether Passage realm was shocked. Who was Tao Chenjun? He was the Nether Passage realm's lord, but he was actually forced to retreat by a single strike from Jiang Chen. Moreover, from the looks of it, it didn't seem like they were evenly matched. Bai Chao's anger grew. When he rushed up, he joined forces with the three-eyed amethyst lion to block Jiang Chen's path of retreat. He wanted to give Jiang Chen a head-on blow. A bunch of extremely stupid fellows. All of you deserve to die. Jiang Chen once again punched out. He didn't use any moves. With just a single punch, the three-eyed amethyst lion's third eye was forcefully destroyed by Jiang Chen. It was a ghastly sight. Everyone held their breath in rapt attention. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Bai Chao's 8-zhong meteor hammer smashed down horizontally. Starlight overflowed in all directions. Above the sky, there were endless starlight. A mere origin divine tool dares to show off in front of me. Jiang Chen sneered. He grabbed Bai Chao's 8-zhong meteor hammer in his hand. Bai Chao's expression changed drastically. His pupils shrank. He wanted to retreat, but it was already too late. Jiang Chen directly crushed his origin divine tool. Bai Chao's lips were slightly dry. After 2 exchanges, he had lost his proudest divine weapon and his most loyal assistant. The 3-eyed amethyst lion had already suffered heavy injuries. Purple flame golden crystal. A purple flame spurted out from the 3-eyed amethyst lion's mouth. As Jiang Chen turned around, he struck out with the 3000 flame sky seal. The 5 elemental divine fire instantly engulfed the 3-eyed amethyst lion. Almost in an instant, the 3-eyed amethyst lion turned into ashes. The whole place was dead silent. Bai Chao and Tao Qianjun looked at each other. Their expressions changed again and again. Isn't this too exaggerated? The Lord of Tianlai Boundary's 3-eyed amethyst lion is a middle hierarch realm expert. Moreover, it's an extremely terrifying demonic beast. How could it be melted so easily? This Jiang Chen's strength is too heaven-defying. I think even if the Lord of Hidden Path Realm and the Lord of Tianlai Boundary join forces, they might not be able to stand on the upper hand. This guy can kill Bai Jiagong without fear. He's not easy to deal with. Does he really not put the 2 great boundary lords in his eyes now? Someone could not help but curl his lips and say. His heart was filled with fear. Jiang Chen's power had almost instantly crushed the 3-eyed amethyst lion. No one saw clearly how the 3-eyed amethyst lion died. However, the flame that was even more terrifying than the 3-eyed amethyst lion was the best proof. You dare to kill my divine beast? I'll fight you to the death. Bai Chao roared angrily and joined forces with Tao Qianjun to attack. The 2 of them had almost used all their strength. This time, they were determined to kill Jiang Chen. Otherwise, not only would they lose their positions, they might also become ghosts under Jiang Chen's palm. Both of them had the intention to kill because Jiang Chen had threatened their lives. Bai Chao was the most furious one. His son and his mount were killed by Jiang Chen. He had lost all his face. If he let Jiang Chen leave at this moment, how useless would he be? Bai Chao and Tao Qianjun were very strong when they joined forces. The 2 of them could definitely fight against a late hierarch realm expert. Unfortunately, they met Jiang Chen, who did not even put a half-step divine emperor in his eyes. Dragon transformation. Jiang Chen's eyes changed. His human and dragon body turned into a giant dragon. His roar was extremely ear-piercing. In an instant, the world was thrown into chaos. The power of Jiang Chen's dragon transformation had forced Tao Qianjun and Bai Chao to retreat. Jiang Chen's palm strike had completely emptied Bai Chao's body. At that moment, Tao Qianjun's face turned pale. Jiang Chen's dragon transformation was so powerful that it instantly killed Bai Chao. Tao Qianjun finally knew what kind of terrifying devil he had provoked. However, at this moment, a monk with a purple hairband and a black robe with golden embroidery appeared silently in front of Xueqi Chihian. The monk had a faint smile on his face as he looked at Jiang Chen with a profound gaze. He then moved his hand and Xue Qianying's body started to move slowly at this moment. She then disappeared into the void and murmured. Chapter 31:12. Bai Chao was dead. Everyone in the Netherworld realm was in an uproar. This was something they did not expect, and they did not understand. Why was Jiang Chen so strong? Why was he able to kill Bai Chao with just one move? This scene of Jiang Chen fighting 2 heroes, 2 great boundary lords, 1 dead and 1 injured, almost made the whole world quiet down. This is too crazy. The Lord of Tianlai Boundary is already dead. It seems that no one can avenge the Tianlai Boundary. Sigh, it's really ironic. The Lord of Tianlai Boundary actually lost his life here to avenge his son. It's really scary. This Jiang Chen. Is he really the reincarnation of the devil incarnate? Guys, look, our Netherworld Realm's Lord is also about to die. No one knew who said that, but at this moment, Tao Qianjun was already completely defeated. Compared to the Lord of Tianlai Boundary, Bai Chao, he was still considered to be relatively lucky. Under Jiang Chen's attack, his life was not directly taken away. This was already quite a considerable result. After all, Jiang Chen's methods were really too good. No one could stand in his point of view and look down on all living beings. The arrogant Bai Chao was dead, and the powerful Tao Qianjun was also defeated. The whole netherworld realm was in a state of panic. Everyone, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Tao Qianjun roared. The 20 aides of the city lord's mansion, as well as more than 10 hierarch realm experts on the battlefield, attacked together. More than 30 hierarch realm experts had already completely surrounded Jiang Chen. After all, as the saying goes, even a tiger can't fight against a pack of wolves. With so many people, how are you going to deal with them? Tao Qianjun sneered in his heart. Bai Chao, that idiot, was the first to attack and kill himself. He almost fell into Jiang Chen's death trap. With so many hierarch realm experts, even he could only look at their backs. What did Jiang Chen do? No matter how strong he was, could he be stronger than more than 30 hierarch realm experts? Let's see if you can survive this time. Tao Qianjuan's eyes were sharp and his murderous intent was resolute, leaving no room for maneuver. Jiang Chen had killed Bai Chao, so he had temporarily lost the threat of the Tianlai realm. If he could kill Jiang Chen again in this battle, then the Penglai realm and the Tianluo temple would definitely be greatly shocked. At the very least, they would refrain from shooting at the rat for fear of breaking the vases, and would not directly point the spearhead at them. Jiang Chen coldly stared at Tao Qianjun. What a reckless guy. The human wave tactic was like a pile of dog shit to Jiang Chen. It was utterly useless. Little Chunzi should be fine, right? Wu Ningzhu couldn't help but worry. More than 30 hierarch realm experts were a terrifying force to be reckoned with. Sister Ning, don't tell me you've forgotten how little Chunzi fought against 100 people with a single sword? These guys were just a bunch of shrimp soldiers and crab generals in his hands. Humph. Yan Qingqing was full of confidence in Jiang Chen. At this time, they only needed to wait for Jiang Chen silently. You're right. It seems like I've been worrying too much. Wu Ningzhu smiled. The smile at the corner of her mouth was so beautiful that it could cause the downfall of a city. Jiang Chen was not afraid at all. Facing the 30 hierarch realm experts, he sneered and struck out the 3,000 burning sky seal. The 30 hierarch realm experts were almost instantly defeated. They did not even have the slightest bit of strength to resist. It was like the autumn wind sweeping away the fallen leaves. More than 30 hierarch realm experts were directly swept away by Jiang Chen. 17 died and 13 were injured. Everyone was dumbfounded. No one dared to take another step forward. The first time was an accident. Would the second time still be an accident? There were so many of them, yet they could not do anything to Jiang Chen. Even if they were to take action again, they would only be courting death. Every hierarch realm expert's face was filled with fear. At this moment, Jiang Chen was far more terrifying than a devil. The hierarch realm experts who died beside him were the best proof. One move. Just one move and their people were all dead. This was the dignity of an expert that could not be violated. Tao Qianjuan's lips were dry. Although he still wanted those hierarch realm experts to take action, he knew that they had been beaten by Jiang Chen. They were retreating step by step and did not have the slightest courage to fight with Jiang Chen. A person's reputation was like a tree's shadow. When Jiang Chen's reputation had made them feel fear, even if they were strong, they would not be able to exert even 10 or 20% of their strength. Moreover, they were not Jiang Chen's opponents. Tao Qianjun retreated step by step, but at the same time, he did not forget to throw out palm after palm. However, when his palm hit Jiang Chen's body, it was like scratching an itch. It had no effect at all. On the contrary, Tao Qianjun felt numb from Jiang Chen's counterforce. Tao Qianjuan's heart was filled with regret. Why did he have to provoke this bastard? Why didn't he let Bai Chao deal with him? If he did not take action, he could at most sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight. However, the current Jiang Chen did not give him such a chance. To put it bluntly, Jiang Chen wanted to kill him as a warning to others. However, he had no other way. He could not defeat Jiang Chen. More than half of the 30 hierarch realm experts were killed in one strike. Who would dare to disobey Jiang Chen after witnessing such a result? Those who ridiculed Jiang Chen at the beginning had shut their mouths obediently. Jiang Chen's strength had given everyone a loud slap on their faces. They were powerless to fight anymore. Facing a devil like Jiang Chen, they could not even look at him. How could they be his enemy? Jiang Chen's long hair was fluttering in the wind. His eyes were cold and his aura was cold. His angular face was filled with arrogance and coldness. I didn't want to kill you, but you forced me to do so. I wanted to reason with you, but you didn't listen. Jiang Chen said faintly. He was not an unreasonable barbarian. He only wanted to use his own strength to obtain the pill. However, he was framed by Tao Qianjun in the end. This guy was really despicable. I beg you, let me go. Consider it as an explanation to my adopted daughter, Qian Ying. Tao Qianjun said while gritting his teeth. His life was more important than anything else. If he did not die, he would be able to dominate the world. If he died, it would be the end of everything. You still have the face to mention Qian Ying? If it wasn't for you, would she have died? You watched helplessly as your adopted daughter was killed, yet you still joined forces with Bai Chao. And now, you even dared to use the word adopted daughter to plead for your death. How ironic. How ridiculous. Ha ha ha. Jiang Chen said with a cold smile. His eyes were filled with disdain. This kind of person deserved to die. After all, I have saved Qian Ying's life. If you still consider her as your old friend and let me go, I, Tao Qianjun, will serve you faithfully. Chapter 31:13. It can't be, right? The city lord actually knelt down in front of Jiang Chen. Isn't this too strange? Our ethereal realm's realm lord is actually willing to compromise? The situation is worse than the person. This is something that can't be helped. Haven't you seen how strong Jiang Chen is? Even the realm lord of Heavenly Lai Realm has been killed by Jiang Chen. More than half of the 30 hierarch experts have died. The city lord can't do anything about it. It's not shameful to lower one's head in front of an absolute expert. It can only be said that Jiang Chen is too strong, so strong that it makes one's hair stand on end. He's so strong that our city lord couldn't do anything about it. A dignified realm lord. Sigh, how sad. Everyone's heart was filled with mixed feelings. After all, the city lord was a high and mighty figure in their hearts. However, in Jiang Chen's eyes, the city lord was so weak and vulnerable. Now, he had become a prisoner of the city lord. His life and death were in the hands of the other party. Needless to say, this feeling was unbearable. Tao Qianjun was also completely helpless. He really didn't have the ability to contend against Jiang Chen. More than half of the hierarch experts had died. It would definitely cause the overall strength of the ethereal realm to be greatly reduced. He didn't know how many years they would need to recuperate. This was what he was most worried about. He was worried that others would join hands to destroy his ethereal realm. Jiang Chen's peerless divine might shook the heavens and earth, making everyone tremble. Tao Qianjun was naturally no exception. However, he could only play the emotional card now to be able to escape from Jiang Chen's hands. The death of the realm lord of Heavenly Lai Realm, Bai Chao, shocked Tao Qianjun too much. In the hands of Jiang Chen, they were like ants that could be trampled on. Don't mention Qianing to me anymore. If I knew that your adopted daughter was Xueqi Qihian, I would definitely stand on your side, even in the end. However, you are so stubborn. If I don't kill you, how can I face the realm lord of Heavenly Lai Realm? Am I right? In the face of the death of his adopted daughter, he was actually so indifferent. In his eyes, Xueqi Qihian was just a chess piece, dispensable, but she was the most important part of his plan. Right. A person like me with no background is worthless in your eyes. What you want is to use your adopted daughter to ally with the forces of other domains. That is why you care about her life and death, not her person. Now that she's dead, your plan has completely failed. In your eyes, I can only see endless unwillingness, and not the slightest bit of pity. Jiang Chen said Lung Lung. He felt sorry for Xueqi Qihian. How could such a person be her adoptive father? If it weren't for the fact that Xueqi Qihian had once been indebted to Tao Qianjun, she would never be willing to be under someone else. Moreover, in the face of such a crisis, she would never allow Xueqi Qihian to become someone else's tool. Therefore, Jiang Chen guessed that Tao Qianjun must have guided Xueqi Qihian patiently and methodically. In order to repay a debt of gratitude, she must have acted this way. Her personality was incomparably stubborn. To make her become a toy and link for colluding interests was completely a fool's dream. However, for the sake of this unforgettable debt of gratitude, Xueqi Qihian had acted this way. This is all a misunderstanding. How do you know the depth of our mother-daughter relationship? How do you know that I am doing this for her own good? I am your enemy precisely because you killed the son of the realm lord of Heavenly Lai Realm, Bai Jiagong. If I don't join forces with Bai Chao to deal with you, he will very likely point his spear at me. At that time, who will know the suffering of the people of Seclusion Realm? Once a war between realms starts, how many people will die because of it? For the sake of the big picture, how can I not do this? I didn't expect that Qianying would have such an ignorant friend like you. So what if you are strong? Humph. Tao Qianjun coldly snorted. At this time, he had already given up. Rather than being killed by Jiang Chen, he would rather die a clean death. At the very least, he would let the countless people of the Seclusion Realm remember him as the realm lord who valued friendship and righteousness. Tao Qianjun spoke vehemently, his face filled with pride, as if he was the brave warrior who had died a righteous death. Even the people of the Seclusion Realm were filled with endless sighs. It seemed that Tao Qianjun was truly a realm lord who valued friendship and righteousness. They thought that the Seclusion Realm Lord was afraid of death, but in reality, he was helping the world. Jiang Chen coldly sneered. How could he not see through the Seclusion Realm Lord's sophistry? But just as he thought, this fellow's words were filled with righteousness, as if he stood at the peak of righteousness. Although he didn't care about the lives of so many people in the Seclusion Realm, he couldn't let Xueqi Qian bear the infamy of infamy for no reason. If he killed Tao Qianjun, he wouldn't be afraid of anything. But Xueqi Qian would also be seen as the same as him. It was her arrival that caused the great war between realms, causing the Seclusion Realm to become the target of public criticism. It would make everyone feel that Xueqi Qian was a star of calamity. All of this was caused by her. How could Jiang Chen allow her to be so lowly? At that time, her death would be considered worthless by others. On the contrary, Tao Qianjun would become the object of worship of tens of thousands of people. Jiang Chen's heart trembled slightly. He originally didn't want to kill Tao Qianjun. In other words, he wanted to. But he couldn't let Xueqi Qian's soul be condemned. He couldn't break Xueqi Qian's final will. This was the best respect he could give her. Forget it. So what if I kill you? Qianying won't come back. And do you know what the last thing she said to me was? She told me not to hate you, not to kill you, not to make things difficult for you, because after all, she owed you. No matter what the process was, the result was very disappointing. Qianying's death wasn't worth it. She didn't need to die. So from this moment onwards, a life for a life. Xueqi Qian no longer owes you anything. As for your kindness, I will repay it in her stead. Sparing you from death is only to comfort Qianying's soul in heaven. Jiang Chen's words made Tao Qianjuan's heart skip a beat. He heaved a long sigh of relief because he knew that Jiang Chen had changed his mind. If he wanted to kill him, he didn't have any strength to resist at all. So in the end, he could only give up. But he didn't expect that Jiang Chen would actually change his mind. He knew that it was impossible for him to mobilize Jiang Chen because of his own words. It must be because of Xueqi Qian's last words that made Jiang Chen change his mind. No matter what the reason is, I hope that you can understand that this world isn't as simple as you think. You should know very well why I didn't kill you. Whether you're a scheming schemer or willing to compromise, it has nothing to do with me. Your strength is not worth mentioning to me. Killing you is like killing a chicken. In the future, be a good realm lord. Chapter 31:14. I got it, Tao Qianjun said while gritting his teeth. His face was incomparably gloomy as he nodded silently. His heart was filled with endless grievance and unwillingness, but as long as he could survive, it was more important than anything else. Qianying, I've done what you asked me to do. I know that you've already seen through everything. It's just that you can't escape the condemnation in your heart. You don't want to owe anyone anything. Jiang Chen sighed in his heart. The moment he turned around, he discovered that Xueqi Qian's body had disappeared without a trace. How could this be? Who did it? Jiang Chen was shocked and his expression changed greatly. Tao Qianjun didn't have the ability to take Xueqi Qian's body away under his eyes. Moreover, no one had discovered this. Even Jiang Chen didn't feel anything strange. However, Xueqi Qian's body had disappeared without a trace. Not only Jiang Chen, Tao Qianjun was also dumbfounded. Wu Ningzhu and Yan Qingqing were also perplexed. Xueqi Qian's body had been taken away by someone? Who had the ability to do such a thing right under Jiang Chen's nose? Jiang Chen's heart became incomparably gloomy. His Emperor Realm soul had scanned the surrounding 10,000 li, but he still couldn't find anything. Where did Xueqi go? Could it be that she could leave by herself? She was already dead and there was nothing strange about her body. However, the current outcome had shocked Jiang Chen and made him feel extremely guilty. I'm sorry, Chen. Where are you? Jiang Chen's expression became incomparably sorrowful. Xueqi's death had completely turned his heart cold. How could her body suddenly disappear? Yan Qingqing frowned. She could see Jiang Chen's worry. However, at this moment, even Jiang Chen couldn't find her body, let alone them. Chen, don't worry. I'll definitely let you rest in peace no matter where I go. Jiang Chen said Leng. He looked up at the void. No matter who it was, he must make them pay the price. Where's my pill? Jiang Chen looked at Tao Qianjun. Tao Qianjun's eyes flickered. At this moment, how would he dare to challenge Jiang Chen? He immediately offered the Soul Rising Spirit Gathering Pill with both hands. Holding the Soul Rising Spirit Gathering Pill in his hand, Jiang Chen could feel that the medicinal effect of the Soul Rising Spirit Gathering Pill was much better than the Soul Nurturing Ganoderma grass. Although the Soul Nurturing Ganoderma grass was indispensable, it paled in comparison to the Soul Rising Spirit Gathering Pill. Jiang Chen handed the pill to Wu Ningzhu. Wu Ningzhu glanced at Jiang Chen. She was extremely touched. Jiang Chen was willing to pay any price for her, even going against several great domains. His sincerity made Wu Ningzhu shed tears silently. Her eyes were slightly red, but she couldn't express her feelings. Take it, Sister Ning. The medicinal effect of this pill is very strong and gentle. It's extremely beneficial to the recovery of your soul. Jiang Chen smiled. Little Chenzi, for me, you didn't hesitate to go against the whole world. Thank you. Wu Ningzhu held the pill tightly in her hand. Silly girl, why are you thanking me? If it was me, wouldn't you do the same? Don't worry. Even if I have to go to the ends of the world, I won't let anything happen to you. Jiang Chen rubbed Wu Ningzhu's head and said softly, Sister Ning, don't worry. Little Chenzi won't let anything happen to you. Don't you know his ability? Hehe. Yan Qingqing also held Wu Ningzhu's hand. At this moment, the hearts of the three of them were tightly connected. Shortly after, Jiang Chen looked at the resolute man again. Young master of the Panglai domain, I would like to request for the Jade Essence Soul Seed. Is it possible? The resolute man was also shocked. Jiang Chen's gaze was like a sharp sword, piercing towards him as he said indifferently. Jade Essence Soul Seed? That belongs to my father. It's his treasure. Brother Jiang, I'm really powerless. The resolute man had a wronged expression as he said with a bitter smile. He was really afraid that Jiang Chen would slap him to death in a fit of anger. If that happened, he would really be wronged. All right, then bring me to the Panglai domain, Jiang Chen said. The resolute man's expression changed. His expression became even more strange. All right, Brother Jiang. If my father doesn't lend it to me, then don't blame me. The resolute man sighed in his heart. You want to forcefully snatch the Jade Essence Soul Seed from my Panglai domain? That's simply a pipe dream. Do you think my Panglai domain is the same as Tianlai domain? How can my father be compared to the Tianlai domain's lord? Tao Qianjun and the resolute man sneered in their hearts. It seemed that Jiang Chen was seeking his own death. The Panglai domain's lord had the strength of a late-stage hierarch realm expert. He was slightly stronger than them. Although Jiang Chen's strength could suppress them, it would not be so easy to deal with the Panglai domain's lord. The departure of Jiang Chen and the resolute man made Tao Qianjun heave a sigh of relief. He said disdainfully, One day, you will know how stupid you are. One day, you will know how foolish you are. The Panglai realm lord will definitely teach you a lesson that you deserve. The corner of Tianluo Temple's spiritual master Tianin's mouth also curled up. He said indifferently, Does this guy really not know how terrifying the Panglai Immortal Island is? The Panglai domain is one of the most terrifying domains in the Moro Prefecture. This guy is completely seeking his own death. We should really mourn for him. Panglai domain, the immortal island of Panglai. 100,000 miles of lush ancient trees, 1,000,000 miles of long rivers, 1,000,000 miles of setting sun, 1,000,000 miles of great rivers and lakes, a vast ocean to the south, and thunder to the north. When Jiang Chen and the resolute man landed at the edge of the Panglai domain, they saw the 1,000 miles of miasma. Jiang Chen squinted his eyes and looked cold. This terrifying terrain was boundless. However, for Jiang Chen, he could see the endless miasma of the Penglai Immortal Island. This was definitely a master-level super formation. Even Jiang Chen could not see anything strange about this formation. This is the Immortal Island of Penglai? It's quite beautiful. The fragrance of flowers permeates everywhere, and there are no clouds in the sky. It's really a paradise on earth. Yan Qingqing secretly praised. That's right. This is indeed a rare and wonderful place. Wu Ningzhu also nodded silently. The resolute man looked at Wu Ningzhu and Yan Qingqing with covetous eyes. To him, these two beauties were already in his hands. As long as they entered the Penglai domain, what else would he have to fear? He really liked these two women too much. Compared to Tao Qianjuan's adopted daughter, they were even better. With these two women, what more could he ask for? If you look again, I'll dig your eyes out, Jiang Chen said Lung Lung. The resolute man quickly shifted his gaze. Right now, he was still under Jiang Chen's control. How could he dare to act rashly? Chapter 31:15. Jiang Chen suddenly raised his head and stared at the sky. An incomparably huge eagle flew past and headed straight for them. The sound of the wind was swift and fierce, and its aura fluctuated. It had the awe-inspiring might of cutting down the world with its wings. Its wings were 10 zhang long, and its eyes were like awls. When it flapped its wings, it soared through the sky and soared through the 9 continents. Its majestic appearance was unparalleled. Little Chunzi, be careful. Yan Qingqing and Wu Ningzhu cried out in alarm at almost the same time. They knew that this eagle was approaching menacingly and was definitely not simple. It's just an evil beast. Jiang Chen looked at it coldly and struck out with his palm. The mountain winds howled and thunder rumbled. The eagle's posture was pushed back by Jiang Chen. It let out a sigh and looked back angrily at Jiang Chen. However, it had already glided up again. Jiang Chen held his blade horizontally and didn't move an inch. The 3,000 winds were unable to do anything to him. However, at this moment, the upright man had already flown up and sat on the back of the eagle. He coldly looked at Jiang Chen and the others and said disdainfully, "Little bastard, you still dare to come to my Penglai Celestial Island and behave atrociously. Little brat, you still dare to come to my immortal island Penglai and behave atrociously? You must be tired of living. Do you think that you can do whatever you want just because you killed that trashy world lord from the Skylai world? Let me tell you, the Penglai realm is not something that those trashy realms can compare to." Humph. The upright man stood on the back of the eagle with his hands clasped behind his back. His eyes carried a hint of coldness. Previously, he had suffered great humiliation in the hands of Jiang Chen. Although Jiang Chen didn't really suppress him, this kind of treatment was already a great humiliation to the young master of a realm. How could he not be angry? He had been enduring silently all this while because he knew that he wasn't Jiang Chen's opponent. That was why he avoided the brunt of the attack. Now that he had entered the Penglai realm, how big of a storm could this brat create? Now that he was in the territory of Penglai realm, even if he was a dragon, he had to coil up. If he was a tiger, he had to crouch. His father was much stronger than the trashy Tianlai realm lord, Bai Chao. Moreover, the Penglai immortal realm had been a true great realm since ancient times. Even in the Moro prefecture, it was second to none. Jiang Chen coming here was tantamount to seeking his own death. It seems that you are still very confident in yourself and your Penglai immortal island. Jiang Chen smiled slightly, calm and unruffled. Jiang Chen had long since noticed that this fellow was dissatisfied. However, Jiang Chen could not be bothered to bicker with this kind of person. After coming to the Penglai realm, he could very well fight against all the outstanding heroes and kill them with a single strike of his sword. He completely disregarded this stubbornness of speech. Trash will always be trash. Mud will never be able to support a wall. Little bastard, who do you think you are? Such shameless boasting. Today you will definitely die here. How can my Penglai realm allow others to humiliate us? The Jade Essence Soul Seed is the clan treasure of my Penglai realm. You want it just because you want it? Do you really think that you are an unparalleled emperor? My father is already on his way here. Today you will definitely die. If you kneel and beg me for mercy, then offer up the two great beauties with both hands, I might spare your dog life. The stubbornness of speech narrowed his eyes. His gaze fell on Yan Qingqing and Wu Ningzhu. He had a drooling expression on his face, unable to control himself. In his eyes, this fellow Jiang Chen must have walked on 8 lifetimes of dog-shit luck to be able to have such fortune. 2 great beauties would never leave him. What virtue or ability did he have? Even the daughter of the ethereal realm lord, Tao Qianjun, whom he had yet to meet, had died for him. This caused the stubbornness of speech to be filled with jealousy. Why was he able to have the goddess, while he, the dignified son of the Penglai realm lord, did not have such fortune with women? He must snatch the 2 women beside Jiang Chen to his side. And this moment was not far away. I, the stubbornness of speech, have never been unable to obtain anything I want. Why are you still not kneeling and begging for mercy? The stubbornness of speech shouted in a deep voice. His expression was cold, and his killing intent was overflowing. Jiang Chen smiled and shook his head. This fellow was a fox exploiting the tiger's might. Now that he had returned to the Penglai Immortal Island, his heart was naturally incomparably at ease and confident. He still wanted to become Jiang Chen's enemy. Most importantly, he wanted to snatch Wu Ningzhu and Yan Qingqing. This was already a death sentence for him. What a coincidence. There is nothing that I, Jiang Chen, cannot obtain if I want it. It's just that no one has been able to lay a finger on my, Jiang Chen's, women. Those who had evil intentions have already entered the underworld. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold. This fellow was already shameless to the extreme. Did he really think that he could do whatever he wanted now? Even if he had the Penglai Immortal Island as his strong backing, it was not worth mentioning in Yi Shiwen's eyes. Brat, I think you won't shed a tear until you see the coffin. When my father comes, it will be the time of your death. Coveting the treasures of my Penglai Immortal Island, you really don't know the meaning of death. The stubbornness of speech said fiercely. He naturally did not dare to make a move now. Even his father's celestial eye condor could not gain an advantage against Jiang Chen. One should know that the celestial eye condor had a trace of the Kuan-Peng's bloodline. Among the demonic beasts, it was considered an extremely terrifying existence. Although it was not as domineering as the azure dragon or the black tortoise, it was still a truly ferocious beast. It seemed that he still had some ability to kill Bai Chao and a dozen Hierarch realm experts of the Netherworld realm. After all, he was not someone ordinary people could compare to. It seemed that he had to wait for his father to make a move to kill him. Then I'll kill you first. Let's see when your father will come and avenge you. Jiang Chen said indifferently. He took a step forward, and the wind and thunder rumbled. The miasma in the sky was also dispersed. An aura that soared into the sky completely crushed down, causing the entire sky to become incomparably dark. The stubbornness of speech suddenly changed. The eyes of the celestial eye condor moved, and it quickly retreated. However, in the next moment, an even sharper blade light had already cut through the void. It split apart the miasma in 100 li, and split the green mountains on the ground. An extremely tall and burly figure rose into the sky, holding a 9-foot-long blade in his hand. He was extraordinarily domineering. His rough face was terrifying and full of hostility. His eyes were sunken and lifeless. He stared at Jiang Chen and said in a low voice, "Is it you? Are you the one who wants to kill my son?" The middle-aged man shouted in a deep voice. His voice spread and shocked countless experts around the Penglai Immortal Island. Usually, the Penglai Realm Lord would not show up. Now, all the trivial matters of the Penglai Immortal Island had been handed over to the stubbornness of speech. He had been cultivating in seclusion to reach the peak of the Hierarch realm for more than 8,000 years. I only want the Jade Essence Soul Seed. He's just my guide. I spared his life, but he doesn't know how to be grateful. Tell me, should I kill him? Jiang Chen said coldly. This father was full of arrogance. It seemed that he was also jackals of the same tribe as the stubbornness of speech. Like father, like son. If this old man was not so ruthless and arrogant, how could this little guy be so arrogant? Bullying my son at my doorstep, you're dead today. The stubbornness of speech sneered. He held the Ling Tian long blade in his hand and pointed the blade light at Jiang Chen. He had completely locked onto him. Chapter 31:16. The Jade Essence Soul Seed is the treasure of my clan. You want it too? You must be tired of living. I really don't know if you're really stupid or just pretending to be. You came here with the determination to die, right? Daku sneered. He was full of disdain towards Jiang Chen. You father and son are also weirdos. One's mouth is like an anus, while the other's mouth is like a maggot. What should I say about you? Jiang Chen smiled faintly. He found this pair of father and son extremely funny. Wu Ningzhu and Yan Qingqing looked at each other and covered their mouths as they giggled. What are you laughing at? I'll send you to heaven today. I'll take both of your women. Let's see if you can still laugh then. Daku shouted angrily as he pointed his blade at Jiang Chen and charged forward. Celestial Eye Godly Eagle, fight with me. Following Daku's shout, the Celestial Eye Godly Eagle screeched and flew up, clashing with Daku. The Celestial Eye Godly Eagle's Daku was obviously much stronger than the Celestial Eye Godly Eagle. His strength had already reached the late Hierarch realm. In his opinion, killing Jiang Chen in a second was too easy. In order to shock those who were hiding in the dark, Daku decided to use his strongest move to kill Jiang Chen to establish his prestige. He wanted those who were not convinced by his son's Celestial Eye Godly Eagle to give up on the idea of rebellion. He also wanted them to understand who the true overlord of Penglai Island was. At this moment, Daku came out from his closed-door training. He wanted to let everyone know that the master of Penglai Island had never left. He wanted to establish the prestige of the Celestial Eye Godly Eagle. Ever since the Celestial Eye Godly Eagle took the throne, it had caused quite a commotion in the entire Penglai boundary. After all, his strength was not enough to convince the masses. Daku was his strongest backing. However, he had not appeared for a long time. So many people had forgotten about his peerless demeanor. Today, in order to kill Jiang Chen and restore the prestige of Penglai boundary, Daku had to defeat his enemy in one strike. Moreover, he wanted to shock everyone who was watching in the dark. Today is the day you die. It's still not certain who will die, Jiang Chen said indifferently. This pair of father and son were really a pair of idiots. If he did not suppress them, it would be impossible for him to obtain the Jade Marrow Soul Seed. He initially thought that he might have to pay a price, but he did not expect to start a war in Penglai boundary. Jiang Chen was disappointed. He would rather pay a price, since the Jade Marrow Soul Seed was not an ordinary item. If he directly snatched it, he would be no different from a robber. At least in Jiang Chen's heart, there was a sense of righteousness in his heart. He disdained to kill and rob, but it was a pity that others had forced him into this path. Phantom Saber intent. With a loud roar, he soared into the sky, swinging his saber to crush Jiang Chen. Saber shadows danced in the sky, hanging upside down in the starry sky. A pair of saber shadows formed. The saber radiance was like frost, shaking the sky. It made people blush with shame. Even hierarch experts worshipped him, not to mention those experts who were below the Divine King realm. Secretly observing, they were already shocked. The Boundary Lord's strength has increased again. In less than 10,000 years, this kind of improvement is really fast. Yeah. Although the Boundary Lord's strength has not reached the peak of the hierarch realm, this kind of strength is enough to sweep across Moro Prefecture. Very few people can fight the Boundary Lord to a draw. This middle hierarch guy is simply seeking his own death. Someone who was secretly watching the battle said with a sneer. The corner of his mouth was full of disdain. The might of the Boundary Lord is really frightening. Looks like we still have to quickly improve our strength. Otherwise, the gap between us and the Boundary Lord will become bigger and bigger. Sigh, that's right. This saber strike is invincible. Compared to the fierce battle with old ancestor Ling Shi over 8,000 years ago, it is more than a few times stronger. Everyone from the Penglai boundary seemed to be quite afraid of Zhixiang Daku. Those hierarch experts were all shocked. The saber radiance of the phantom saber shot up to the sky. Wherever the saber radiance went, it cut through the void. Jiang Chen threw out a punch. The mountains and rivers were shattered. Traces of lightning flashed in Jiang Chen's palm. The fist wind was sharp and powerful. It could split mountains. With an endless domineering aura, it directly collided with Zhixiang Daku's saber radiance. In an instant, the two terrifying auras disappeared and dispersed like the autumn wind sweeping away the fallen leaves. Sharp auras were everywhere in the void. Both of them retreated. Jiang Chen's shattering three mountains punch had directly blocked Zhixiang Daku's powerful attack that had accumulated 80% of his strength. However, it did not defeat Jiang Chen instantly. To Zhixiang Daku, it was a great humiliation. Moreover, the attack that he had high hopes for was easily blocked by Jiang Chen. How could he not be shocked? Zhixiang Daku's face was gloomy. He gritted his teeth. Jiang Chen's methods were unfathomable. His first attack actually ended in such a way. The spectators were all afraid. This intermediate hierarch guy seemed to be quite strong. If he could block an attack from a sector lord, then he was really strong. Zhixiang Daku originally wanted to kill Jiang Chen to establish his dominance, but now they were evenly matched. He was furious, but he had to face it head-on. This guy that he had underestimated was not as weak as he had imagined. This guy, even my father can't kill him with one attack? His words were firm and unyielding, but the waves in his heart were extremely great. He had originally thought that his father would be able to easily kill Lin Fan. But now, it seemed that it was indeed somewhat unbelievable. However, his father might not have fully displayed his strength. Father, be careful. This guy killed Bai Chao, the Lord of Tianlai Boundary. His strength cannot be underestimated, Zhixiang Daku said in a low voice. His words stirred up 1,000 ripples. Not only Zhixiang Daku, even the spectators were shocked. The Lord of Tianlai Boundary. How was this possible? Was he really killed by this guy? The person who was the most shocked was Zhixiang Daku. More than 100,000 years ago, when he was still a intermediate hierarch, he had fought with Bai Chao, the Lord of Tianlai Boundary. At that time, both of them could be said to be heroes who admired heroes. Their strengths were almost the same. Zhixiang Daku's evaluation of Bai Chao was also extremely high. However, after he had a breakthrough in his strength, he was naturally not on the same level as Bai Chao. However, it was still extremely difficult to kill Bai Chao in the intermediate hierarch realm. Most importantly, Bai Chao was the Lord of a boundary. If it was an ordinary intermediate hierarch, perhaps he would not be so shocked. However, how could a Lord of a boundary not have any life-saving methods? Otherwise, how could he become the Lord of a boundary? However, he died in the hands of Jiang Chen. This made him quite shocked. Bai Chao and I used to be friends. Today, I will kill you to commemorate my old friend. Since you can kill Bai Chao, it means that your strength is not weak. From this moment onwards, I will give you enough respect. Chapter 31:17. Jiang Chen looked straight ahead and Lang Lang looked at Daku. Daku's strength was not enough to compete with him. He was determined to get the Chalcedony Soul Grade seed. Initially, he only wanted to exchange for the Chalcedony Soul Grade seed. However, the people of Panglai Boundary were so stubborn that Jiang Chen could only do so. Then, I will fulfill your wish, Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. He changed his hand seal and the 3,000 flaming sky seal turned into a 9 heavens fire dragon that filled the sky. The 3,000 flaming sky seal's palm print was like a rainbow that covered the sky. Daku's facial expression changed. He swung his long saber and wherever the saber light passed by, not even a blade of grass would grow. However, facing Jiang Chen's 3,000 flaming sky seal that was filled with destructive power, it was like a drop in the bucket. The saber light was instantly destroyed. However, Jiang Chen still attacked fiercely without the slightest hesitation. His attacks caused the heavens and earth to change. His iron fist was invincible and shocking. Jiang Chen's punches were ferocious. Daku's face turned gloomy as he retreated step by step. His strength had already reached the late hierarch realm. He did not expect that he could not even dodge the simplest attacks from a middle hierarch realm fella like Jiang Chen. Moreover, every violent punch made Daku's heart tremble. Daku's long saber was already losing his grip on it and even almost fell out of his hand. Jiang Chen's moves were ruthless. After more than 10 moves, the power of his punches had made Daku completely lose his initial confidence. Even Daku began to worry about his father. Damn it, a middle hierarch realm fella. How can he suppress me? Daku Shuang was not satisfied with Jiang Chen's performance. Jiang Chen was just a kid. How could he fight evenly with him? Furthermore, Daku Shuang had to be cautious with every step he took, putting him in a passive position. This was the most hateful thing about Jiang Chen. Soaring Dragon Imperial Sky. Long saber-breaking sky moat. He brandished his long saber and stepped on the Heavenly Eyes Eagle. His aura was even stronger than before, and he borrowed the power of the Heavenly Eyes Eagle to crush Jiang Chen. The saber shadow turned into a dragon, and the dragon shadow flickered. Jiang Chen dismissed it with a smile. In his eyes, The 8 directions divine dragons could not even withstand a single blow. Break! Jiang Chen bellowed angrily. He held his saber horizontally and punched out with his fist. The dragon's shadow dissipated and the saber was shattered. The saber was also knocked back 800 miles. Fortunately, the Sky Eyes Eagle caught it. This scene shocked everyone. Those who originally thought that Jiang Chen would be ruthlessly obliterated by the great song of fortune-telling were greatly shaken. It seemed that the bitter days of the Penglai Immortal Island were finally coming. This devil incarnate clearly did not give the Penglai realm any face. Daka would definitely suffer heavy losses in this battle. The Penglai realm has been peaceful for hundreds of thousands of years. It looks like the peace is finally going to be broken. That's right. The great song of fortune-telling is incomparably arrogant and despotic. I never thought that he would have such a day. Humph. The Penglai realm has been in the hands of the great song of fortune-telling for more than 1,000,000 years. Is it finally going to decline in the hands of the great song of fortune-telling? Some people rejoiced, while others were worried. If the Penglai realm fell into chaos, it would definitely affect many people. However, if someone fell, someone else would rise. Some people would fight for the right to become the Penglai realm lord. Perhaps the competition would be even more intense, and there would be even more casualties. Heavenly Eyes Eagle, charge! The great song of fortune-telling shouted and charged at Jiang Chen with the Heavenly Eyes Eagle. It had to be said that the Heavenly Eyes Eagle's methods were extremely sharp and fast. As an outstanding figure in the sky, it possessed a trace of the Kuan Peng's bloodline. It was not easy for it to do so. Its speed was astonishing as it soared 90,000 miles. It was like a sharp sword cutting through bamboo. In the blink of an eye, it had already arrived. Beast! Do you think you are worthy of the 2 words Kuan Peng? Even if you have a trace of the bloodline, you are just deceiving yourself and others. Humph! Jiang Chen used the Azure Dragon's 5 steps. His speed was astonishing, and he almost instantly caught up to the Heavenly Eyes Eagle. Jiang Chen stepped down and directly trampled the Heavenly Eyes Eagle. The Heavenly Eyes Eagle could not withstand the force of 1,000 catties. Jiang Chen's Azure Dragon's 5 steps instantly crushed all the bones in the Heavenly Eyes Eagle's body. When the other foot stepped down, the Heavenly Eyes Eagle was completely destroyed by Jiang Chen. No! My Heavenly Eyes Eagle! The great song of fortune-telling roared. This Heavenly Eyes Eagle was like his own child. He valued it even more than the great song of fortune-telling. However, he did not expect it to be directly trampled to death by Jiang Chen at this moment. How powerful was Jiang Chen's method to cause such a huge shock? A hierarch realm demonic beast was trampled to death by Jiang Chen. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Ignorant brat! I will not rest until you are dead. The great song of fortune-telling was completely enraged by Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen had entered the Penglai realm without fear and even killed his demonic beast mount. How could he not be angry? All Penglai realm divine kings and above, fight with me! The great song of fortune-telling's voice traveled thousands of miles. All the Penglai realm divine kings and above gathered here. Hundreds of divine kings had come to protect the Penglai realm. 800 divine kings and 40 hierarch realm experts surrounded Jiang Chen at this moment. The densely packed crowd almost filled the void. The sky was filled with divine kings. Jiang Chen's eyes were cold and disdainful. It seemed that everything he had done had to be put into action. If killing one was not enough to serve as a warning to others, then what harm was there in killing the entire Penglai realm? These people who did not know death were merely pawns for the great song of fortune-telling. However, at this moment, Jiang Chen no longer had the slightest bit of pity. Some people might not live well even if they lived. Some people's death might be their final destination. There was no such thing as kindness or not. In life, one should live freely and uninhibited. He had kindness in his heart, but what did he get in return? He had no intention of provoking a battle, but what he got in return was the Penglai realm's relentless pressure. What could he do? Jiang Chen looked at the Tsang mountain coldly. Only those who survived were qualified to discuss the path, what was kindness, and what was human nature. Wu Ningzhu's soul was already getting weaker and weaker. Although she had his constant help, it was still extremely difficult. Once her soul withered, it would be the greatest harm to him. Jiang Chen would definitely not allow such a thing to happen. He had to obtain the Jade Marrow Soul Seed, and these people in front of him were nothing more than ants to him. However, if he did not kill ants, how could he obtain the Soul Seed? Since the Panglai realm lord wanted to fight to the death, then what did he have to fear? You have thoroughly disgusted me. Even if you had 10 lives, it would not be able to match up to my heavenly eye eagle. You must die today. I will use your soul as a sacrifice to my heavenly eye eagle. I will make sure you will never be able to reincarnate. Chapter 31:18. A disorderly mob dares to talk about bravery? Jiang Chen said with disdain. His lips curled into a cold smile as he reached out his hand. At this moment, his heavenly dragon sword had just appeared in his hand. A disorderly mob. You're really shameless. If I don't let you witness the might of my Panglai boundary today, do you really think that you're invincible? A mere mid-hierarch realm expert dares to be so arrogant. Let's see how long you can keep this smile on your face. Mustache Daku sneered. His eyes were extremely cold as he waved his hand. Hundreds of divine kings and dozens of hierarch realm experts were on standby, ready to fight to the death with Jiang Chen. In their eyes, the dignity of the Panglai boundary was on the verge of death. Hundreds of divine kings. This kind of power was quite terrifying. For those who were weak, this terrifying aura was enough to make them feel the pressure of death. Coupled with the hierarch realm experts that were rarely seen, the entire Panglai boundary seemed to have become extremely oppressive. Many people felt that a storm was about to come. The hierarch realm experts were even more disdainful of Jiang Chen. So many hierarch realm experts, how could they not be a match for him? With the Panglai boundary lord leading them, what was there to be afraid of? In their eyes, this battle was just to establish their prestige, to give Jiang Chen a head-on blow, to kill him in one strike. Even my heavenly eye eagle was killed by this guy. Everyone, be careful. Today, for the safety of the Panglai boundary, I will lose this battle to the death. Mustache Daka's eyes were gloomy. Many people also became serious. After all, they knew about the heavenly eye eagle, a mid-hierarch realm demonic beast. It was the treasure of the Panglai boundary lord. Even Mustache Daku could not get close to it. Now that it was killed by this reckless guy, one could imagine how furious Mustache Daku was. We swear to follow the boundary lord until death. We swear to be loyal to the Panglai boundary until death. The roars of the 800 divine kings shook the firmament. The morale of the entire Panglai world was high. Jiang Chen was facing 800 divine kings and dozens of hierarch realm experts alone, but he was not afraid at all. He looked at the crowd with disdain. His cold attitude made Mustache Daku even more hateful. His voice was like that of an ancient sovereign, standing at the peak of the void, commanding the masses. The might of the Panglai realm was indeed a level higher than the ethereal realm and heavenly Lai realm. The strength of the Panglai realm was already a level higher than the ethereal realm and heavenly Lai realm. The strength of the realm overlord was already enough to explain everything. If his strength wasn't enough, it would be impossible for him to have such prestige and dominance. As the citizens of the Panglai realm, those people swore loyalty to the Panglai realm. It was understandable that they were loyal to the Panglai realm. At this moment, they raised their morale to the peak. Warriors, follow me and slay this bastard. Only then can the Panglai boundary regain its peace. Mustache Daku shouted. A 10-foot-long soul-refining lock appeared in his hand. In order to take revenge for the heavenly eye eagle, in order to let Jiang Chen know how powerful the Panglai Immortal Island was, he had to attack fiercely and suppress Jiang Chen. Only then could he regain his prestige. Jiang Chen, be careful, Wu Ningzhu said in a low voice. She was extremely anxious. After all, the people that Jiang Chen was facing at this moment were very different. However, her strength had yet to enter the hierarch realm. Unlike Yan Qingqing, who had already reached the early hierarch realm and could solve Jiang Chen's problems, she felt that she was extremely useless. Jiang Chen had put himself in danger time and time again, but she could not do anything. She could only stand behind him silently, and might even become his burden. Wu Ningzhu had always been a strong woman. In her heart, she was not willing to become Jiang Chen's burden. She also wanted to become Jiang Chen's right-hand man and become his solid backing. She would be satisfied if she could help him even a little bit. But now, how could she become Jiang Chen's assistant with her sickly body? No one knew that Wu Ningzhu was struggling in her heart at this moment. As Jiang Chen's woman, how could she be so weak? However, she had brought too many troubles to Jiang Chen. Although there wasn't much of a competitive relationship between her and Yan Qingqing, and both of them had already become a part of Jiang Chen's heart. However, as a woman, how could Wu Ningzhu tolerate her cowardice and incompetence at this moment? Yan Qingqing had fought side by side with Jiang Chen several times. Although she might not be able to help Jiang Chen win the battle, a person's heart would always change. Wu Ningzhu was no exception. Wu Ningzhu's heart longed to be together with Jiang Chen. But the reality did not allow it, and the reality was much crueler. Little Chenzi, I'm sorry, Wu Ningzhu said in a low voice. Her face was slightly pale. She could only pray silently in her heart. Her eyes were filled with envy when she looked at Yan Qingqing. She knew that Jiang Chen would not blame her, but she blamed her misfortune and was angry at her incompetence. Qingqing, protect Sister Ning well. I'm going to start a massacre, Jiang Chen said faintly. Wu Ningzhu's heart slightly trembled. Why? Why am I always the one who needs to be protected? If I'm not so weak, why do I need someone to protect me? Wu Ningzhu's heart was slowly becoming desolate. Jiang Chen pointed his sword at the void. His agile sword chi swept across the place, not putting anyone in his eyes. Everyone was filled with killing intent towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen, you'll know how it feels to be dismembered later. At this moment, Ko Xiangangman had also joined the battle, standing together with many hierarch experts. Everyone stood beside him. Apart from Ko Xiangdak, Ko Xiangangman was now the true leader of the Penglai boundary. The true leader of the Penglai boundary. I'm only here for the Jade Essence Soul Seed, but you've forced me to do this. If I don't kill all of you, how am I going to get the Jade Essence Soul Seed? Jiang Chen was calm and composed. He smiled faintly and flew up to the void, taking the initiative to attack. The limitless sword swept across the void. 800 divine kings took the initiative to attack. Countless divine kings formed a formation in an instant, connecting with the ever-changing miasma in the void. Jiang Chen squinted his eyes. This might be Chuaxiang Daku's true trump card. The formation formed by 800 divine kings was not to be underestimated. Even a hierarch expert might not be able to face it head-on. Waves of sword chi pressed down. Jiang Chen shouted. The 9th sword attacked while the 10th sword swept across. 800 divine kings almost blocked his 2 attacks. Even Jiang Chen was shocked. The formation of 800 divine kings was not terrifying at all. What was terrifying was that the miasma in the sky was able to completely nullify his formation. Hence, Jiang Chen's attack did not kill those divine kings. Edited by Lifer. Fingerfox. Chapter 31:19. Jiang Chen, you'll definitely die today. The miasma formation isn't something you can break. Oral divination sneered. He was just using his father's name to intimidate others. Without his father, oral divination Daku, he wouldn't have such power. Even the miasma formation was controlled by his father. Oral divination Daku. He didn't have the ability to break it. Listen to my command. Change the miasma formation and attack. Oral divination Daku yelled. The 800 divine kings almost enveloped Jiang Chen completely. Together with the miasma, Jiang Chen couldn't move at all. His surroundings were filled with miasma and poisonous gas. He couldn't even see his own fingers. Jiang Chen's heart sank. He quickly put Yan Qingqing and Wu Ningzhu into the Zulong Tower. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to escape from the miasma formation with their strength. Within the miasma, the attacks of the 800 divine kings had undergone a qualitative change. They were far, far more powerful than divine kings, and they were extremely close to the hierarch realm. It was all because of the Misty Formation. With 800 god kings forming the Misty Formation, even Great Song of Oral Divination did not dare to say that he could ignore it. The Misty Formation was the life-saving method of his Penglai Island. If it was not a crucial moment, Great Song of Oral Divination would not use it. 800 divine king realm experts working together was extremely terrifying. Ordinary hierarch realm experts would be easily crushed in the miasma formation. One after another, attacks were launched at Jiang Chen's side. Jiang Chen fought and retreated at the same time. Every step he took was filled with danger. He was extremely nervous. The poisonous gas in the miasma is so terrifying. However, my myriad chi body is immune to poison. I'll let you guys have a taste of the blue-eyed azure flower toad's poison. Let's see who'll have the last laugh. Jiang Chen smiled with a hint of viciousness. So what if there are 800 divine kings? Let's see if you can survive the poison of the blue-eyed azure flower toad. In the miasma formation, Jiang Chen constantly released the poison of the blue-eyed azure flower toad. The terrifying poison gas mixed with the poison gas in the miasma and entered the bodies of the 800 divine kings in the end. Jiang Chen could clearly feel that the endless attacks were gradually decreasing. The auras were also gradually disappearing. This meant that the poison of the blue-eyed azure flower toad had taken effect. Looks like these god kings can't even withstand a single blow. Jiang Chen sneered in his heart. The 800 divine kings were all injured by the poison of the blue-eyed azure flower toad in Jiang Chen's body in less than 30 minutes. Furthermore, none of them could save the situation. The 800 divine kings were all hit. Within the miasma formation, the 800 divine kings were unable to play a decisive role. Instead, they were all killed by Jiang Chen using poison to fight poison. At this moment, the entire sky above Penglai domain became quiet. The earth-shaking attacks at the beginning also gradually subsided. Why is it like this? Daku was puzzled. The aura of those divine king realm experts was disappearing one after another. At the moment when all of them disappeared, he realized that something was wrong. 800 divine king realm experts, even if they just stood there and let Jiang Chen kill them, they would not be able to be killed in a short period of time. At this moment, he felt an even stronger sense of danger. Why is it like this? Father, did that guy use some method to defeat the miasma formation formed by the 800 divine kings? Daku Zhengmen frowned and asked softly. He was also extremely puzzled. 15 buckets of water were being drawn. There's something fishy going on. Everyone, quickly take action. Daku's expression changed. He felt that Jiang Chen was definitely not someone who would sit and wait for death. Now that the miasma formation was becoming more and more peaceful, his heart was becoming more and more restless. Do we take action now? I'm afraid it's already a little too late. Jiang Chen waved his sword and scattered 1,000 miles of the void. The miasma dispersed and the 800 divine kings were completely dead. A deathly silent aura made everyone's breathing stagnate. In the blink of an eye, 800 divine kings died just like that? Even Daku Zhengmen could not believe it. How did Jiang Chen do it? He actually killed them so quickly. These 800 divine kings could not even withstand a single blow from him. You actually killed 800 of my divine kings? Daku Zhengmen's body trembled. These 800 divine kings were not any weaker than the 40 hierarch realm experts. This was because they were the cornerstone of his Penglai boundary. These 800 divine kings were the capital to protect his Penglai boundary. However, in the hands of Jiang Chen, he defeated the enemy with a single move and killed thousands of them. This heart-wrenching shock made Daku Zhengmen's heart tremble as if it was dripping blood. He stared at Jiang Chen. The anger in his heart had already burned beyond the 9 heavens. The next person to be killed will be you. Jiang Chen smiled calmly. He attacked across the sky and ascended to the heavens in a single step. The 800 divine kings were burned to ashes by him. Daku Zhengmen's teeth were almost crushed. He clenched his fists tightly and the soul-refining chains in his hands made cracking sounds. The 800 divine kings were dead. It was equivalent to cutting off an arm of the Penglai boundary. To Daku Zhengmen, this was intolerable. I'm so angry. All hierarch experts, listen up. Follow me to kill this bastard. We must crush his bones and scatter his ashes to take revenge for our 800 divine kings. Daku Zhengmen held the soul-refining chains in his hands and attacked again and again. Jiang Chen was fearless. The limitless sword began the most terrifying slaughter. Against more than 40 hierarch experts, Jiang Chen fought against 1,000 by himself. This kind of heroic and domineering spirit was admirable. However, his life was facing a choice between life and death at this moment. Daku Zhengmen and the attacks of more than 40 hierarch experts were destined to make Jiang Chen die a tragic death. Sigh, 800 divine kings. What a pity. This time, our Penglai boundary is going to suffer a great loss. Yeah, but the death of the 800 divine kings and the death of the heavenly eye eagle has completely ignited the old realm lord's anger. It seems like this battle will definitely be chaotic. However, there is no longer any suspense now. More than 40 hierarch experts can't even defeat one of him? What a joke. This guy deserves to die. He came to our Penglai boundary and behaved atrociously. How can we let him leave unscathed? Even I can't take this lying down. The people of the Penglai boundary were all silently feeling sorry. The shock caused by the death of the 800 divine kings was indescribable. The Penglai boundary was vast and had abundant resources. It needed many people to manage it. The 800 divine kings were the cornerstones. Now that they had been killed, it was even more painful than the Dakujing men cutting off one of their arms. How could they not want to kill Jiang Chen? I no longer have the patience to play with you. Today, let me overthrow your Penglai boundary. Chapter 31:20. Shameless boasting. Everyone, listen to my command. Kill this bastard. Daku took the lead and rushed towards Jiang Chen. He held the soul-refining lock in his hand and smashed it hard. The void was filled with flames. Eloquent Daku's late divine venerable realm strength was fully displayed. His domineering aura soared to the sky. More than 40 divine venerables were present, and eloquent Daku was not to be outdone. At this time, he naturally chose to stay by his father's side and be his right-hand man. It could also be considered as a way for him to make contributions and increase his achievements to shock the Penglai realm. Only by making contributions would he be able to wield great authority and command the venerables. How can a defeated general speak of bravery? Jiang Chen snorted coldly. His sword momentum changed. The limitless sword opened and closed. 11th blade. Jiang Chen's sword shadow cut through the past. The 11th blade and the heavenly dragon sword were in perfect harmony, seizing the essence of heaven, earth, sun, and moon. Wherever the sword shadow passed, not even a blade of grass grew. As the 11th blade fell, everything trembled. More than half of the 40 hierarch experts were pushed back. Everyone's face was filled with fear. Half of them were extremely frightened because his strength was too strong. The 11th blade was like a rain of falling swords, cutting across the sky. 23 hierarch experts were hit in an instant and almost all of them were severely injured. The power of Jiang Chen's sword forced countless experts to retreat. However, Jiang Chen's sword aura did not show any signs of stopping. A 10,000 zhang long sword light came crashing down towards Jiang Chen. Daku forcefully resisted the sword light and used the soul-shackling lock to hook Jiang Chen. However, he was actually forced back by Jiang Chen's sword light and blood spurted out from his mouth. More than 40 hierarch realm experts suffered different degrees of injuries. Encircle and suppress him together. We can't let him escape. Daku dared not delay and quickly rushed into the encirclement. Now was the time for them to exert their strength. With so many hierarch experts, how could they not be able to defeat one Jiang Chen? The great tune of mouth and voice once again activated the soul-refining lock. The soul lock spread across the void like a giant net, wanting to trap Jiang Chen within. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold. He rushed into the crowd and fought against a group of hierarch experts. His heavenly dragon sword spirit vibrated unscrupulously and decisively. He took a step forward and fought against the 9 heavens. Those arrogant hierarch realm experts became more and more fearful under Jiang Chen's attacks. Because Jiang Chen's lethality was too terrifying. His sword could cut off a hierarch realm expert's arm, cut off a hierarch realm expert's head, pierced through a hierarch realm expert's chest, and killed him. Jiang Chen's attack was extremely terrifying. Jiang Chen moved forward decisively. In the blink of an eye, 17 hierarch realm experts were completely overturned by the power of the sword spirit. Jiang Chen's aura was extremely domineering. Even hierarch realm experts could not withstand a single blow from his sword. They had no power to resist at all. Every hierarch realm expert's eyes were filled with fear. However, death was too close to them. Jiang Chen did not hesitate at all. In less than half an hour, those hierarch realm experts were all turned into ashes. They were all dead or injured. Including the great tune of mouth and voice, there were only 4 people left. They kept retreating to the side of the great tune of mouth and voice. That kind of deathly silence and despair filled the heart of the great tune of mouth and voice. Jiang Chen's methods were too horrifying. He had completely lost the ability to resist. The Penglai realm did not have the slightest ability to resist him. Even divine venerables could not stop him at all. Like a demon god descending to the world, like the reincarnation of a ferocious ghost, like a life-taking soul lock, like an ancient skeleton, Jiang Chen's aura had already reached its peak. More than 40 hierarch realm experts were like grass to him. His sword was stained with blood, the Zhonghu's calamity. Who could understand his name? Jiang Chen raised his head and looked at the great tune of mouth and voice. At that moment, he could not help but tremble. As the lord of the Penglai realm, he had already tried his best. However, 800 divine kings and 40 hierarch realm experts were all completely wiped out by Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen cut them up like vegetables. They disappeared without a trace. There was no news of them at all. Their deaths were like the extinguishment of a lamp. Next, it's your turn. Jiang Chen went straight for the great tune of mouth and voice. A sword shadow flashed past. It was faster and more terrifying than the speed of light. Father, save me. The great tune of mouth felt a sense of fear in his heart. He could not help but cry out. No. The great tune of mouth cried out in alarm and took a step forward. However, he still could not block Jiang Chen's sword. It was too fast. Too fast. His hand was still in mid-air, but the great tune of mouth and voice and the other three had already completely collapsed. The greatest pain in the world was the death of a child. To the great tune of mouth and voice, Jiang Chen had really gone too far. Even if there were 800 divine kings and 40 hierarch realm experts, how could they compare to the value of his son's life? This is a predestined fate. Jiang Chen said faintly. The great tune of mouth's hand was still in mid-air, trembling. His gaze gradually became dull. In that dullness, he once again became indifferent. He was cold-blooded and emotionless. His eyes were filled with endless killing intent. I will use your blood to pay for my son's life. Jiang Chen, you brat, I will perish together with you. The great tune of mouth had been completely enraged by Jiang Chen. He was like a mad lion. His son, his subordinates, and his mount had all been killed by Jiang Chen. Now, he was like a lonely traveler without any support or sustenance. This Penglai realm lord had become a loner. You are not qualified, Jiang Chen said coldly. Jiang Chen said coldly. He had said that he would destroy the Penglai boundary. Initially, he only wanted to exchange for the Jade Essence Soul Seed. However, the Penglai boundary didn't know how to appreciate his kindness and even dared to covet his woman. That was Jiang Chen's greatest opportunity. The dragon's reverse scale, anyone who touched it would die. No one could escape from this calamity, not even the Penglai boundary lord. Is that so? If that's the case, it's too early for you to be happy. Today, even if I have to risk my life, I will make you accompany my son in death. I will seek justice for the countless experts of the Penglai realm who died unjustly. The great tune of mouth took a deep breath. Jiang Chen saw a hint of determination in his eyes. This fellow seemed to want to cut off all means of retreat and fight with his back to the river. I want to see what exactly you have to rely on. Jiang Chen crossed his arms in front of his chest. Right now, he was completely confident and daring. What did he have to fear in the Penglai realm? The great tune of mouth had been defeated by him. What did he have to fear? He had already chopped off his left and right arms. Now, the great tune of mouth was nothing more than an evil dog struggling on its deathbed. You will pay for your arrogance. Do you know what is the strongest thing about our Penglai Immortal Island? It's the cloud mist array. The great miasma array you used before was just an appetizer. The true cloud mist array is what my Penglai Immortal Island relies on. The Penglai realm will never retreat. As for you, you will forever be a slave of my Penglai realm. The wind comes, the fog rises, the thunder moves, the array changes. Daku shouted coldly. Within 10,000 miles of the Penglai Immortal Island, the wind and rain swayed and the mist was hazy. The mountains, rivers, and swamps were filled with marsh gas. It was as if the entire misty swamp had become dense and dense. The light in the sky was also changed by countless strange moving mist. It was as if the earth was in a murky state and the end of the world was coming. Chapter 31-21. Wherever the mist passed, Jiang Chen felt a strong suction force. He felt as if he was in a quagmire. The mist had completely sealed all the world's yuan qi in the surroundings. What a terrifying formation. It seems that oral analysis Daku is not exaggerating. Jiang Chen frowned. His expression was grim. The surrounding mist began to fill the air. Moreover, the mist seemed to have solidified. The divine yuan qi in the surroundings was completely sealed. Jiang Chen could not use it at all. This misty cloud formation had almost cut off his escape route. This guy was determined to kill him. It seemed that this was his last resort. This time, I don't believe that you won't die. Misty cloud formation. Activate. Oral analysis. Daku used himself as the eye of the formation. This was because the amount of energy required for the misty cloud formation was too large. It was equivalent to using the entire Penglai Island as the cauldron to activate the misty cloud formation. Once the misty cloud formation was activated, the entire Penglai Island would become hell on earth. The Penglai Island was vast. Although it was not the largest area in the Penglai boundary, once the Penglai Island was turned into the misty cloud formation, millions of people would die. Those who were not strong enough might even die. The entire Penglai Island had a population of hundreds of thousands. They were all true experts, the mainstays of the Penglai boundary. Even so, such a large formation was quite terrifying for oral analysis Daku. He did not think of using the misty cloud formation until the last moment. Once the misty cloud formation was activated, hundreds of thousands or even millions of people would be turned into dead souls. This was a deal that would kill 800 or even 1,000 of them. However, oral analysis Daku had no other choice. When the formation was first formed, the entire misty formation had already become hell on earth. Without the divine Yuan Qi, the divine Yuan Qi of the entire Penglai Immortal Island had all turned into a substantial misty cloud, solidifying in the void. Even with Daku's strength, it was impossible for him to do this. This was a great formation laid down by the ancestors of the Penglai Immortal Island to protect the Penglai Immortal World. It was a supreme technique of the Divine Emperor realm. Daku already felt powerless, so he used his body as the eye of the formation to support the operation of the misty formation. As Jiang Chen was trapped in the misty cloud array, even the divine origin Qi in his body was constantly draining away. This misty cloud array and this song clearly intended to bury the entire Penglai Immortal Island with Jiang Chen. Don't help me, no. My strength is constantly deteriorating. Why is it like this? I don't believe it. What's going on? I feel like I'm being evaporated by the mist. Countless people were roaring. The entire Penglai Immortal Island had also turned into a purgatory. It seemed calm and unremarkable, but the Penglai Immortal Island had gradually turned into a great formation that devoured the divine Yuan Qi. Those with low strength were gradually suffocating as the divine Yuan Qi in their bodies were gradually drained away. In the end they became useless. Then, in the mist of the divine Yuan Qi, they turned into statues and eternal stones. How could this be? The divine Yuan Qi in our bodies is also draining away? Yan Qingqing looked at Wu Ningzhu, and the latter also nodded her head in astonishment. Needless to say, they also felt the aura of death. Countless people on the Penglai Immortal Island began to flee frantically. However, the Penglai Immortal Island had already become a cage. Even Jiang Chen could not escape, let alone them. If this goes on, we will probably die here. Even the divine Yuan Qi in the Zulong Tower is draining away. Little Chunzi must be very anxious. Wu Ningzhu knitted her brows tightly. The only person she was worried about was Jiang Chen, not herself. She did not care about her own life and death. However, Jiang Chen was her only emotional support, and also the person closest to her. At this moment, she would rather die than to see Jiang Chen being suppressed by this misty formation and turned into a stone statue. Don't worry, little Chunzi will not fall that easily. Yan Qingqing trusted Jiang Chen very much, but she was just comforting herself. If Jiang Chen couldn't escape from this place, how could they escape from this place? Yan Qingqing was very clear that Jiang Chen was their only chance. He was also their only hope to survive. She was not afraid of death, but if she were to die, she would die together with Jiang Chen. Life and death are bound together, a promise made to my son. Holding my son's hand, we will grow old together. Wu Ningzhu and Yan Qingqing held each other's hands tightly. They were silently cheering for Jiang Chen. Life and death were not important to them. What was important was whether they could be together with Jiang Chen or not. Looking at Jiang Chen's gradually weakening aura, they were the ones who felt the most distressed. In order to avenge his son, Daku had obviously gone crazy. He wanted to use the entire Penglai Immortal Island to suppress Jiang Chen. Even if he had to pay with his life, he would not hesitate to do so. Facing the people of Penglai Immortal Island, they kept calling and begging for mercy. However, Daku was indifferent. Since he had decided to do this, he would let everyone die together with him. This was his determination and his original intention. Ha ha ha, Jiang Chen. Let's see how you are going to break my formation. Ha ha ha. Jiang Chen. Let's see how you're going to break my formation. Do you see that? Those people whose cultivation base was gradually disintegrated by the misty formation have turned into stone tablets. You will be the next one. Ha ha ha. Accept your death. No one can escape from this misty formation. This is the forbidden death formation left behind by the ancestors of the Mouth Xiong family. You won't be able to escape from it. You can't escape from it, and no one can escape from it. Daku said with a cold smile. His eyes showed that he was unafraid of death. He was incomparably resolute. At this moment, even he himself might not be able to escape from the misty formation. He had already become the eye of the formation. He had no way to escape anymore. Because in order to kill Jiang Chen, he needed to operate the formation to complete the operation of the misty formation. Only then would Jiang Chen's cultivation base be dissolved. Jiang Chen's divine origin qi had already been reduced by more than half. More and more people fell down and turned into stones, becoming eternal statues. There were hundreds of thousands of people below the heavenly god realm. There was no exception. Jiang Chen's heart was pounding violently, and he kept retreating. However, the misty fog formation completely ignored Jiang Chen's attacks, and it also ignored Jiang Chen's movements. No matter how hard Jiang Chen tried to attack, he couldn't do anything. Chapter 31-22. The boundless Penglai Immortal Island had collapsed, the sea dried up, the rocks crumbled, and the ancient trees turned into ashes. The place was like a purgatory on earth. Ha 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 ha, everyone has to die. You have to be buried with my son. His mouth was full of ferocious laughter. His eyes were dark as he looked at Jiang Chen and Penglai Immortal Island. His heart was filled with the desire for revenge. He had completely changed. He had become an avenger, a lunatic who would resort to any means necessary, causing the people of Penglai Immortal Island to fall into a trap, causing them to perish. Currently, the entire Penglai Immortal Island had suffered countless casualties. Only a little more than 10,000 people were left, all of whom were experts above the heavenly god realm. However, their bodies had gradually become sluggish. They wanted to fly up to the heavens and fly out of the territory of Penglai Immortal Island, but they had no chance to escape. They could only wait for death to come. That kind of fear was far more painful than being killed by a sword. They could feel death devouring them bit by bit. That was the most terrifying thing. The divine origin qi in Jiang Chen's body had also been drained by more than half. His attacks were completely useless against this formation. He wanted to use the no-beginning formation to break it, but Jiang Chen found that this formation was completely a dead formation. It could be said that the transformation of the formation was for killing. There was no way to break it. However, Jiang Chen believed that it was because he hadn't found a suitable way to break it yet. This misty cloud formation wasn't like those great formations that attacked crazily. It was more like a formation that gathered countless divine origin qi and eventually turned into nothingness. The divine origin qi gradually turned into mist, and the more it turned into mist, the stronger the formation became. As time went by, the misty cloud formation had reached an unbreakable stage. Jiang Chen attacked again and again. The sword shadows and the wind from his fists were invincible. When they hit the formation, it was like a clay ox entering the sea. There was no echo at all. Jiang Chen exerted all his strength, but it was still the same. His divine origin qi had already turned into mist. The crisis was getting bigger and bigger, and death was approaching. Damned fella! This formation is so strange, and he actually turned into the core of the formation. He's really risking his life. Jiang Chen murmured. But this time, his attack had completely lost the initiative. It was completely useless. The divine origin qi had been completely vaporized. Such a grand formation could be said to be invincible. It was equivalent to using 4 ounces to overcome 1,000 catties. It basically didn't want to fight. It wanted to use softness to overcome hardness, like boiling a frog in warm water. It wanted to gradually grind away all the edges and corners of one's body, before finally dying in silence. Let's see if you can block my Emperor Realm soul. Jiang Chen squinted his eyes. This was his last resort because no matter how strong the attack was, it would not cause any ripples on the formation. Therefore, Jiang Chen could only rely on his Emperor Realm soul to see if he could deal a fatal blow to the great tune. Soul-stealing divine art. Soul-seizing technique. Jiang Chen's soul moved and a terrifying soul storm swept out. The entire Penglai Immortal Island's grand formation seemed to be shaken by the soul storm. The soul-stealing divine art was quite terrifying. Those who were weaker than him would definitely be severely injured by the divine art and die. However, Jiang Chen did not expect that this fella's soul power had already reached the Emperor realm. Although he had just broken through, it still shocked Jiang Chen. If this fella's soul was only at the late hierarch realm, he would have been killed by Jiang Chen. But no matter what, it was still effective, even if the effect was very small. Jiang Chen had underestimated this fella's soul power. There must be a reason why this fella's soul power was so strong. Could it be because of the Jade Essence Soul Seed? Jiang Chen's heart moved and his eyes lit up. He once again activated the soul-stealing divine art and continued to attack. Departed Soul's Annihilation. The second move, Departed Soul's Annihilation, made the Great Toon extremely horrified. The terrifying soul power swept across the entire Misty Formation. No one knew that the Great Toon's soul power was instantly engulfed by the Departed Soul's Annihilation. However, at this moment, his soul power had become the soul power of the entire Penglai Immortal Island. His life and death were no longer under his control. Instead, it was controlled by the Misty Formation. Although his soul had been severely injured by Jiang Chen, the Misty Formation was still engulfing and changing, unable to stop the destruction of the Penglai Immortal Island. I didn't expect your soul power to be so terrifying. It seems that I have underestimated you. My soul has been severely injured by you and I don't have long to live. But you want to change the Misty Formation? It's just a pipe dream. Hee, all of you have to die. All of you have to die. Be buried with my son and me. The eerie laughter of the Great Toon reverberated in the ears of Jiang Chen, and the hearts of everyone who was still alive on the Penglai Immortal Island. It was like a judgment from hell. They didn't have much time left. Although the soul power that he was so proud of had yet to be released, it had already been completely suppressed by Jiang Chen. If it wasn't for the Jade Essence Soul Seed, he would have been completely destroyed when Jiang Chen used the first move of the soul-stealing divine art. Damn it! This bastard is playing with fire. Let's drag everyone down with him. Jiang Chen was incomparably furious. The soul fire of the Great Toon was getting weaker and weaker and was about to be extinguished. However, the Misty Formation didn't change at all. This Misty Formation is really hard to deal with. It's just that I haven't found the way to break it yet. Once I find the way, it won't be so difficult anymore. Jiang Chen kept comforting himself in his heart. If one's heart was as clear as ice, the sky wouldn't collapse. Only by relaxing his mind could he have a chance to find a way out. The formation had yin and yang. When there was a surplus, there was a deficit. Only when yin and yang protected each other and the surplus and deficit were balanced could it complete a qualitative transformation between heaven and earth and become a formation of the Great Way. The formation of the formation was because of the Tao of heaven and earth. Jiang Chen was shocked. The formation of the formation was carved with the simplest Tao. In other words, the Tao of the formation and the Great Way led to the same destination. Although I don't have the Tao accumulation in my body now, I have the understanding of the Tao. If I use the power of the Great Way to analyze this Misty Formation, will there be an unexpected harvest? Chapter 31-23. At the end of the day, Jiang Chen had yet to fully understand the no-beginning formation. This was because many aspects of the cloud and mist formation were similar to the no-beginning formation. If he had fully understood the no-beginning formation, perhaps it would not have been so difficult. However, his understanding of the Great Path was not any weaker than the no-beginning formation. This allowed Jiang Chen to instantly analyze this seemingly hopeless cloud and mist formation in a short period of time. The cloud and mist formation was just a confusing formation. After dispelling the clouds, Jiang Chen's understanding of the cloud and mist formation had improved. Although his strength was constantly being weakened, it was already a piece of cake to break the cloud and mist formation. Jiang Chen continued to lay out the entire cloud and mist formation and the entire Penglai Immortal Island. Gradually, there was no trace of Daku's aura in the cloud and mist formation. In other words, Daku was already dead. He had sacrificed himself to activate the cloud and mist formation. If it was not for Jiang Chen's soul-killing strike, he might have had a chance to survive. However, since Jiang Chen's strike, he had completely lost his chance of survival. Finally, the clouds have parted and the moon has appeared. Heaven and earth have the same lifespan, and all living things have the same Tao. Indeed, different paths lead to the same destination. It seems that in the future, the understanding of the Great Path can be completely integrated into the formation. The Great Path is the simplest with a long-lasting meaning. The true Tao connotation is to combine countless Taos together to form the Great Path. I didn't expect that the Great Path of heaven and earth could not only be used to achieve the Emperor realm, but also have such a great use. Jiang Chen murmured. When he analyzed the cloud and mist formation with the power of the Great Path, he realized how simple this cloud and mist formation was. In other words, this cloud and mist formation was not worth mentioning in front of a true Emperor realm expert. Unfortunately, Jiang Chen was far from reaching that realm. The Great Tao is the simplest. Different paths lead to the same destination. The power of the Great Tao dissolves all illusions. Break for me. Jiang Chen suddenly opened his eyes and used the power of the Great Path to resolve the matrix of clouds and mist. That day, the sky cleared up, and the clouds dispersed. The sun shone, overflowing with colorful light. The withered earth seemed to bloom with a different kind of vitality at this moment. The earth was stretching, the sky was roaring, and all things were reviving. The entire Penglai deity island looked brand new. The cool breeze blew gently. The ripples on the water were still. Suddenly, everything became clear. The decadence was gone, and the sun and moon had changed into a new day. The clouds receded, and the spell formation was gone. The thousands of people who had survived the cloud spell formation thanked heaven and earth, and offered their thanks to Jiang Chen. Thank you, benefactor, for saving our lives. The Penglai Immortal Island will follow your lead in the future. Your life-saving grace is greater than the heavens. Benefactor, please accept our gratitude. Eloquence is unyielding, but eloquence is immoral. Only benefactor can see through the clouds and see the blue sky. Thank benefactor. Thousands of divine kings and heavenly gods were all kneeling on the ground. They had millions of years of cultivation, and some of them were already crying. They thought that they would die for sure, but they didn't expect Jiang Chen to pull them back from the gates of hell. This was the grace of saving their lives, and he had given them a warm hand in the desperate situation of death. Otherwise, they would be like those weaker people, dying in silence. No matter how loud they shouted, it would be of no use. In the end, they could only turn into stone and be buried deep in the earth. Everyone rejoiced as if they had survived a calamity. Even those powerful experts couldn't help but cry. When they were filled with despair, being helped by someone was truly shocking. The realm lord of the Penglai Immortal Island was preposterous and tyrannical. With their lives, hundreds of thousands or even millions of people had all turned into stone. This was no different from a massacre. Fortunately, the eloquence did not have the ability to change the entire Penglai Immortal Island. Otherwise, the billions of people in the Penglai Immortal Island would have become ghosts under his feet. The blue sky had opened, and Jiang Chen was their blue sky. In their eyes, Jiang Chen was the bodhisattva that saved them from suffering, and Jiang Chen was the savior of all living beings. The unyielding gate of eloquence was dead, and so was the eloquence. The entire Penglai Immortal Island was now a group of dragons without a leader. As the center of the Penglai Immortal Island, it was now lifeless. Although the blue sky had been restored, it was unknown how long it would take to rebuild it. Finally, everything is fine. I told you, little Chenzi would definitely be able to save us. Yan Qingqing said. However, the two of them were still hugging each other tightly. Tears could be seen at the corners of their eyes. This was the pride and expectation they had for Jiang Chen. He had done something that others couldn't. He was the Lord of Eloquence. Their man would always be the best. Truly preposterous and tyrannical. Jiang Chen couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Hundreds of thousands of people, millions and even trillions of demonic beasts, were all turned into ashes. All of this was done by the eloquence. He basically didn't care about the heavenly Tao or the heavenly moat. In his eyes, the lives and deaths of everyone couldn't even be compared to his son. How could such a person become the realm lord? That was everyone's sorrows. Within the 10,000-li Great Forest, thousands of demonic beasts were also expressing their gratitude to Jiang Chen. The birds and beasts were flapping their wings, and the demonic spirits were roaring. Jiang Chen had unintentionally saved these people and demonic beasts who shouldn't have sacrificed their lives for this war. This made them full of reverence and gratitude towards Jiang Chen. This happened because of me. Millions and millions of lives were lost. I can't absolve myself from the blame. Jiang Chen thought in his heart. He wasn't sorrowful, but he felt a little uncomfortable. Everyone had their own thoughts. Jiang Chen was also not a good person, but those innocent people and demonic beasts lost their lives. Hundreds of thousands, millions. Who could remain indifferent? At least, Jiang Chen couldn't do it. I only want the jade marrow soul seed. Jiang Chen looked at the corpse of the eloquent Daku. He stretched his hand and the corpse was crushed, leaving only an interspatial ring. Jiang Chen crushed the interspatial ring. As expected, he felt an extremely strong spiritual force spreading out. The feeling of his soul changing made Jiang Chen's heart tremble. A dark green gem-like object appeared in Jiang Chen's hand. Is this the jade marrow soul seed? Jiang Chen played with the dark green gemstone in his hand. The gemstone contained an extremely strong spiritual force, and it grew endlessly. The jade marrow soul seed was indeed magical. Jiang Chen was quite surprised. Even with his Emperor Realm soul, he couldn't clearly see what was inside the jade marrow soul seed. It was extremely magical and precious. The jade essence soul seed gave Jiang Chen an indescribable feeling. He felt that this thing had an extraordinary origin, but it was filled with a strange light. The most important thing was that it had an endless spiritual force, because this was what Wu Ningzhu needed. Only then could she stop the withering of her soul, allowing her to be reborn. That's all I need. The soul-nurturing Ganoderma grass, the soul-gathering pill, and the jade marrow soul seed should be enough to help Wu Ningzhu temporarily stop her soul from withering. At this moment, the sun rose in the east. On a quiet and ordinary hill 700,000 miles away from the Penglai region, a rainbow light shot up into the sky. Chapter 31:24. Give me back my son. Give me back my son. A hoarse voice was heard from the abyss of the Penglai immortal island. Everyone on the island felt inexplicably terrified. It's him? Is it really him? It's definitely him. The oldest descendant of the oral divination family. 7 Realms Reverend. Is it the 7 Realms Reverend from 9 million years ago? Oral divination Zhen E? Benefactor. Hurry up and leave. The oldest 7 Realms Reverend of the oral divination family is about to come out. You've killed oral divination Gangmen and oral divination Daku. Oral divination Zhen E will never let you go. That fella's strength had already reached the half-step divine emperor realm millions of years ago. All the surviving experts were in awe of Jiang Chen. Now that the legendary 7 Realms Reverend Zhen E had returned, he would definitely look for Jiang Chen to avenge his descendants. There was no doubt about this. Moreover, no matter how strong Jiang Chen was, he had not broken through the half-step divine emperor realm. Therefore, those experts of the Penglai boundary were worried about Jiang Chen. After all, Jiang Chen had done them a great favor. They had lost their initial trust in the oral divination family. Oral divination Gangmen and oral divination Daku were all muddle-headed and tyrannical. As the realm lords of the Penglai boundary, they had made them suffer a lot. At the last moment, oral divination Daku had also made everyone disheartened. At this time, who would still care about the Penglai boundary? They wished that Zhen E would be killed by Jiang Chen. However, Jiang Chen's strength was still there. It was impossible for him to compete with oral divination family. That was why they tried their best to persuade Jiang Chen to leave as soon as possible to avoid unnecessary trouble. Thank you, everyone. Jiang Chen will take his leave now. Jiang Chen said in a low voice. He was not afraid of this legendary 7 Realm Reverend, but he did not want to complicate matters. After all, the most important thing now was to help Wu Ningzhu recover her soul. Jiang Chen brought Wu Ningzhu and Yan Qingqing and quickly left the Penglai immortal island. He wasn't afraid that the 7 Realm Reverend would speak the truth. He just wanted to enjoy the treatment of Wu Ningzhu. Tianlai Realm. Yongguan City. Currently, Tianlai Jie was already in a mess. The most dangerous place was also the safest place. After losing the Realm Lord, Tianlai Jie could be said to be filled with heroes. Many godly venerable realm experts led their own forces and wanted to take control of Tianlai Jie. At this moment, Jiang Chen chose a remote mountain range in Yongguan City to heal Wu Ningzhu. I will protect you. Little Chenzi, you must help Sister Ning get rid of her illness. Yan Qingqing looked at Jiang Chen seriously. Wu Ningzhu had been depressed during this period of time. Although she forced a smile on the surface, Yan Qingqing knew that as a woman, Wu Ningzhu felt helpless. Not being able to stay with the person she loved was the biggest regret. Yan Qingqing could not bear to see Wu Ningzhu like this. She and Wu Ningzhu were like sisters. They were closely connected because of Jiang Chen. It was impossible for them to be separated. They supported each other to become the strongest support for Jiang Chen. All right. Thank you for your hard work, Qingqing. Jiang Chen held Yan Qingqing's hand. With them taking care of him meticulously, he could be fearless and give it his all. In the cave dwelling, Jiang Chen held the jade marrow soul seed in his hand. Waves of extremely pure soul remembrance began to spread throughout his body. This is the jade marrow soul seed? I can already feel a huge soul remembrance. It seems to be absorbing my soul power. Wu Ningzhu said in surprise. Not bad. Sister Ning, eat the soul rising spirit gathering pill first. I will crush the jade marrow soul seed and assimilate it into your body, Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. Wu Ningzhu nodded. She opened her red lips and swallowed the soul-rising spirit gathering pill. An extremely powerful soul power seemed to explode in her mind. Calm down. Absorb the soul-rising spirit gathering pill's medicinal effect first. Jiang Chen held Wu Ningzhu tightly and comforted her. The soul-rising spirit gathering pill was a peak immortal grade pill. Its medicinal effect was completely different from the 9 Supreme Saint Bones pill. After Wu Ningzhu swallowed the soul-rising spirit gathering pill, her body started to heat up. Her face constantly changed color, causing Jiang Chen to be extremely worried. However, this was a normal phenomenon. After all, the soul-rising spirit gathering pill was extremely powerful. Jiang Chen could feel the terrifying soul power nourishing the soul power in Wu Ningzhu's body. Her withered soul showed a trace of recovery. At least it stopped withering. Although the recovery was relatively slow, it was still effective. 10 days passed by quietly. Wu Ningzhu's soul had also experienced some changes. Her withered soul was much better. The soul-rising spirit gathering pill's effect was also quite obvious. However, it was still not enough because Wu Ningzhu's soul was already quite withered. No one knew why her soul kept withering, causing her soul to become weaker and weaker. The effect was average. However, at least it stabilized Wu Ningzhu's soul. That was enough. Jiang Chen placed his last hope on the Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed. The Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed could definitely help Wu Ningzhu recover more than half of her soul. She would not have to worry about her life for at least a few thousand years. Next, let's fuse the Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed into your soul. Jiang Chen took a glance at Wu Ningzhu. At this moment, Wu Ningzhu was in a state of cultivation. She might even break through to the Hierarch realm at any time. Her strength was originally at the peak Divine King realm, so it was reasonable for her to make a breakthrough. Jiang Chen did not look sideways. His hands were like hooks as he slowly crushed the Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed. The Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed in his hands gradually showed a water-like state. The dark green Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed was like a gluey liquid, constantly jumping as if it had its own soul. This fella is a little interesting. Could it have its own soul? Jiang Chen's heart skipped a beat. However, he did not feel any signs of life. Jiang Chen had great confidence in the Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed due to his powerful soul remembrance. It could definitely help Sister Ning recover more than half of her soul power. Only then, she could cultivate normally and accompany him. The spirituality of the Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed was relatively strong. Although Wu Ningzhu was still in the midst of cultivation and refining the soul condensing pill to adapt to her current state, the Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed had a strong telepathic connection with Wu Ningzhu. Not only that, even the Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed seemed to want to fuse with Wu Ningzhu's soul. The endless soul remembrance was full of vitality. The connection between the Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed and Wu Ningzhu was simply seamless. The Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed was like a jumping bubble. It was like a sprite that constantly changed its form. Jiang Chen slowly fused the Jade Essence Soul Grade Seed into Wu Ningzhu's mind. Wu Ningzhu's body trembled and her expression changed. Her expression became more and more difficult. Ah! Chapter 31-25. Jiang Chen's expression changed. He quickly went out of the cave, but it was already too late when he saw Yan Qingqing. At this moment, Yan Qingqing had already flown up to the 9 heavens, as if she was being pulled by an extremely strong suction force to the 9 heavens beyond the 9 heavens. Little Chenzi, save me. Yan Qingqing was extremely anxious and her eyes were filled with fear. Her body was completely controlled and she could not use her early Hierarch realm strength at all. Ching ching! Jiang Chen shouted in a deep voice. His figure flashed and he quickly chased after Yan Qingqing. He had also casted the Great Void technique to the extreme, but he still could not catch up with Yan Qingqing's speed. She seemed to be bound by something and could not control herself. Save me, little Chunzi. It's him again. It's him again. Yan Qingqing's words made Jiang Chen's heart skip a beat. It's him again. She must be referring to the fella that had invaded her soul previously. How could this be? I've already gotten rid of it, so how can it make a comeback? Jiang Chen did not believe it. However, it was proven that his guess was right. That fella had come back again. Jiang Chen was extremely anxious. What's this bastard's background? He's so hard to deal with. Wait for me, Qing Qing. Jiang Chen said in a deep voice and flew towards her at an extremely fast speed. He wanted to catch Yan Qingqing's hand, but he could not do it. Jiang Chen clenched his teeth and desperately tried his best. Finally, his hand was about to touch Yan Qingqing's palm. At that moment, Yan Qingqing looked back and smiled. Her strange smile carried a hint of gloominess and terror. She was a beauty that could cause the downfall of a city and a nation. Her eyes were like a lamp and her spirit was like an immortal's charm. Her purple eyes carried a meaningful smile and contempt. This was not Yan Qingqing. However, it was already too late when Jiang Chen reacted, as Yan Qingqing had already made her move. In a blink of an eye, Yan Qingqing struck with an extremely strong palm. Jiang Chen could not defend against it at all. How could he expect that Yan Qingqing would injure him the moment she looked back? Moreover, that palm strike was definitely not something that an early hierarch realm Yan Qingqing could do. Jiang Chen's meridians felt like they were being torn apart as if they would explode at any time. Puff! Blood spurted out. Jiang Chen and Yan Qingqing were getting further away from each other. However, Jiang Chen was still chasing after them. He would never give up at this moment. Yan Qingqing was entangled by that fella again. Jiang Chen was even more anxious because Jiang Chen had witnessed how terrifying that fella was. If it was not because of his Emperor Realm soul, he would never be able to suppress that fella. He thought that he had completely eliminated it from Yan Qingqing's body. However, he did not expect that it would enter every nook and cranny of Yan Qingqing's body. Jiang Chen did not even know whether it was a man or a woman or who it was. The scariest thing was knowing nothing about the other party. Jiang Chen was not confident at all. If Yan Qingqing was taken away again, the consequences would be unimaginable. Jiang Chen tried his best, but he still couldn't catch up with Yan Qingqing. Moreover, he was severely injured by Yan Qingqing. That palm strike could only be executed by a half-step divine emperor. Jiang Chen was shocked. Jiang Chen saw a hint of killing intent in her eyes. That's right, it was killing intent. Her eyes had already landed on Jiang Chen. I realize that if I don't get rid of you, you will always be a burden. Today, I will kill you to save myself a lot of trouble. Yan Qingqing smiled faintly. Her beautiful eyes flickered and her aura rose abruptly at this moment. Early Hierarch Realm, Middle Hierarch Realm, Late Hierarch Realm, Half-Step Divine Emperor. Finally, it stopped at the Divine Emperor Realm. Jiang Chen sucked in a breath of cold air. Just how strong was this man? It was a body that could allow him to live in. Yan Qingqing had reached the Divine Emperor Realm. Jiang Chen felt helpless. A Divine Emperor Realm was not something a half-step Divine Emperor could compare with. Even if Jiang Chen exerted his full strength, he would not be able to fight against a Divine Emperor Realm expert unless he reached the Late Hierarch Realm. However, he was still far away from breaking through. Jiang Chen had just stabilized his cultivation in the Middle Hierarch Realm not long ago. It's just a piece of cake for me to kill you. Die. Help me erase her soul imprint and I will spare your life. Yan Qingqing's pretty face suddenly changed. Leng Lang stared at Jiang Chen. It was extremely difficult for her to control Yan Qingqing's soul completely. Only by erasing her soul imprint could she become the new Yan Qingqing. As long as Yan Qingqing's soul was strong enough, it would be a long and arduous journey for the person who wanted to take over her soul. Therefore, as long as Yan Qingqing gave up on resisting, it would be able to replace her quickly. You want to use me to threaten Qingqing? Dream on. Who are you? Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. It's fine to tell you. I'm the second disciple of Buddha Longxiang, Yun Gaiyao. You won't know how big the world is without entering the middle region. You won't know how many experts there are without stepping on the divine land. You're just a frog in a well. Don't make me angry. Otherwise, you'll die a horrible death. Yan Qingqing said faintly. She looked at Jiang Chen with disdain and disdain. Jiang Chen could feel its coldness and ruthlessness. The current Yan Qingqing was no longer the same person. Buddha Longxiang. Divine land of the Middle Region, one day, I'll pull that bullshit Buddha of yours down from its pedestal. Jiang Chen clenched his fists. His face was gloomy. At this moment, he felt a huge pressure. Yan Qingqing was walking towards him step by step. You want me to help you kill my own woman? You must be dreaming, Jiang Chen said while gritting his teeth. This bastard had forced him into a desperate situation. If it wasn't for the fact that it had taken over Yan Qingqing's body, Jiang Chen would have fought it to the end even if it meant death. However, Jiang Chen didn't dare to act blindly without thinking. He didn't dare to act recklessly even if it was his opponent. If he accidentally hurt Yan Qingqing, he would regret it for the rest of his life. Good, you're a man of steel, but you can't save the woman you love. How sad. How lamentable. Since you don't want her to die for you, then die for her. Yan Qingqing sneered and walked towards Jiang Chen step by step. Since you don't want her to die for you, then I'll kill you. Maybe she'll die even more. It's not a bad idea. As long as her soul is destroyed, I can get rid of her in the blink of an eye. So, it doesn't matter if you listen to me or get rid of you. It's a good choice. I'll be grateful to you. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.